100 for them tires.
Oh yeah, definitely got time.
And then you want me to give them a price for demoing them 2 little sheds. And I told them we can demo the whole house. All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to the living Elohim. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach today. We'll pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. So search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life. And they will testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you. But you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. As you believe Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? Let all esteem be given to him who has power and Shamahim, our Abba, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Shalom, Brother Reynolds. Shalom, Jay. Hey, we should be good because we're not using Firefox. We're using that Google Chrome. I think that Firefox was making too much of the CPU work. And that jump was slowing down the stream. The CPU was working at definitely about a 97% capacity. Isaiah 65 and 17. For behold, I create a new Shamahim and a new Arax, and the former shall not be remembered nor come into mind. But be you glad and rejoice forever, which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing and her people a joy. Now, I'm going to share with you the word create. Now, we were talking about something that somebody that I know posted. And then as something came to my mind well after the fact, and we're going to deal with it right now. Actually, 2 things, because then there's some brothers talking about that evolution is in the Bible and how they viewed the creation story, which was kind of weird. And we're going to deal with that too. Like, I can see how they would come up to that conclusion if you was thinking carnally or trying to think like you were being a little too deep for your own good, to be dead honest with you. But yeah, we're going to deal with that too. And then we're going to go back to Job 38. But I'm going to have to do it. So, of course, if you know the Hebrew word for create is bara, bat, rash, aleph. Create, shape, form, shape, fashion, create. You know, create whether in the heaven and earth, individual man, new conditions and circumstances, transformations, so on and so forth. So if you're looking at Bat and Rash and Aleph, you can see that that is the strength of the Son of the highest when you're dealing with creation. So, Shalom, Misa. I'm going to ask y'all a question. And what we're going to be dealing with, you can't think about this carnally. You can't think about this emotionally. You can't think about it personally. You have to stop, you have to pause, and you have to think about it spiritually and objectively. You know what I'm talking about? Because if not, you're going to miss the whole point of what I'm about to ask. Now, my homegirl shared a post, and the vitriol was quite interesting. I don't understand why these women were so upset. The man was asking, okay, what benefit am I going to get from raising somebody else's child? You know what I'm talking about? They went way left, right? And this is what the conclusion that we came to based on what these women were responsible for. They didn't give a damn about them children. You know what I'm saying? What they cared about is you wanted a husband. And you're trying to use your children as the cloak for the fact that you want a husband. That's fine if you want a husband. Ain't nobody gonna knock you for that. You know what I'm talking about? But say that though. Don't say the benefit is you can be a role model and a father figure for a child. You know why that's not the case, David? Because you can do that and not be married to the mother. If that's what you was concerned with, if that's what you really wanted for your child, then he could do that and not have to be with you. But you don't care about that in real life. You know what I'm talking about? You're trying to tell him that this is what he gonna get out of this so that you can get what it is that you want. You know what I'm talking about? But that's neither here nor there. This is the question. Would Yahuwah take care of another man's child? Now, I want you to think about that spiritually and objectively and according to the text, because the text will answer this question for you because there's an underlying greater point in said question. You said he would. You said he would.
I said he would because he accepts strangers.
Does he accept the stranger?
If they come under his wing, just like what's her name? Naomi Ruth.
Boop says yes. What do you say, Horace? You rubbing your head? What you rubbing your head for? What you looking all like that for? Yeah, that's a yes or no question, man.
First one, yes.
Okay. You say yes. Shalom, Brother Ellis. What you say, Lee?
I just want to say yes if the person like
Jeremiah James Bird.
if the person became his child, if that makes sense.
Stanley says he would say no. You would need to be his child, born of the word. There's two fathers, Satan and Yahuwah. What you say, Civic? Andrew says the first thing that came to his mind is you would have to be his. He's not taking care of a bastard. What you say, Civic?
I was gonna say, yeah, you would have to become his.
You would have to become his. What you say, Mom? You would have to be. What you say, Nisha? Would Yahuwah take care of a child that is not his? Why would you say that? Y'all get them likes up on on YouTube, by the way. The reason why I asked this here, because like I said, right, these women were in the word, and they were like ridiculing men. God bless Brother Langford, who for this man asking this question. Yes. No, you can't change your answer. Misha said about being born again first. That is, Yahuwah is not taking care of anybody else's child. As they stated, you're going to have to be born of the word. You're going to have to be his seed for him to take care of you. You're going to have to. There's no way around that. You know what I'm talking about? It's not even just that. I'm going to deal with it. Are you ready? Do y'all recall, Shalom, Sister Kelly, do you recall what I mentioned to y'all that Wednesday night when I was talking about the aspect of the seed and a man's seed bonding with a woman's body? Do you recall that? You may not, because we had streaming issues. Like I said, we should be good because we using Google Chrome, the doggone camera working on the Google Chrome. It wasn't working on the first time I tried to use it when Firefox disappeared. Because Firefox was definitely sabotaging the CPU. You know what I'm talking about? There's no joke. Like literally Wednesday night, that thing was operating at 98 and 99%. Remember what I tell you, right? When a man puts his seed in your womb and that seed merges with that egg, a piece of that man is now growing inside of you. Now you have yet to have that chance to have that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? But every other woman in here has had that opportunity. And not only do you have a bonding period with that seed, you're bonding with that man, whether consciously or subconsciously, irregardless of how you may or may not feel at that man at any given moment. You're bonding with that man. You have literally became one with that man. You understand? So the word is the same token. And are you ready, sir? Give me John chapter 12, verse 22.
Philip came and told Andrew, and again Andrew and Philip tell Yahushua, and Yahushua answered them, saying, the hour is come that the Son of Man should be esteemed.
That's right.
Truly, truly, I say unto you,
what he said,
except the corn of wheat fall into the ground and die. What? Fall into the ground and die.
It do what?
It abide alone.
But if it
dies,
it bring
forth much fruit.
So there's a key component. I want you to keep that in the back of your mind. We're gonna move swift. I need you to come to Matthew chapter 13. I need you to come. Oh, baby, you moving slow. You moving slow. No, you don't know no answers. Lil Muffin say her mama sound like you. She say you got a raspy voice, like a white woman.
She my voice is low. She like,
she did say that.
I've heard it. People used to say, your son answered. Mom said, I don't have a son. My brother's born.
Oh,
Yeah, she said you sound like a white woman that drank hot tea and crumpets.
I might.
Smoking cigarettes.
I won't.
What about it, sir? What about it? Give me Matthew 13, man. Give me about verse 30. Tell me what you asking, Lil Johnny?
So let both grow together until the harvest, and in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather you together first the tares and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. Mm-hmm. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of Shamahim is like to a grain of mustard seed, which a man took and sowed in his field, which indeed is the least of all seeds, but when it is grown, it is the greatest among herbs and become a tree, so that the birds of the air come and lodge in the branches thereof.
Hold on. I'm just trying to make sure I ain't got you reading entirely too much, and I do. Give me 13 and 18. That's a little different. That's pertaining to mercy. Him raining on the just and the unjust. That's pertaining to mercy, but that's not pertaining to his offspring, because that's not taken care of. You know what I'm saying? So you're talking taking care of. When you're taking care of a child, you're taking ownership. You know what I'm saying? So Yahuwah is not taking ownership of a child that does not belong to him. You know what I'm talking about? See, him providing rain for the just and the unjust is just his mercy, but you're still a bastard. You're not considered a son, and he's not going to take care of any child that is not his. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think so. I think it might have just been the Firefox, man, because I did the Google Chrome, and the camera clicked on off top. So we're gonna see what we got. You know what I'm saying? That just see, we finna get to that part about being born of the loins, and see, I'm working towards that. What I'm meaning, right? Because, and we're gonna get to that in Romans 9, so you can get an even more understanding of all those that are of Yasharal or not of Yasharal, because you have to. It's like this here, right? Human beings are the only creatures on the planet that go out and willfully will take care of a seed that is not theirs. Okay, I got you there. You know what I'm saying? And we're not mentioning this to knock on the matter. The reason why this came up this week, because like I told you today, we were talking about sexual liberation. You know what I'm saying? And then, a matter of fact, a brother had a room and he was asking this question: do you have free will or do you have programming? In reality, you have programming, and your free will dictate whether you hold fast to your programming. Because however you were raised, that is your programming. Now you have free will, so you actually have to be responsible, because what is free will? It's really just freedom. See, we can look at that in the text also when Paul wrote about don't let your freedom be a cloak for maliciousness or an occasion to the flesh, because you have programming with the word and you got freedom in the Mashiach, but with that freedom you have responsibility. You know what I'm talking about? So you have programming, you have instruction, you have things that you've been taught. See, people like, oh, we got free will. Free will is just responsibility. You have the choice to make, but can you be responsible with the freedom? You know what I'm saying? So when you gave people sexual liberation, you gave individuals freedom to go out here and do whatever type of sex they want. But individuals have shown that they couldn't be responsible with the freedom. I put in the chat earlier today, my little cousin found this, and then I went and looked it up, that the concept of dating comes from prostitution. Did you read that? No, you didn't read it. Hold on, let me read that to y'all. Yeah, I looked it up right afterwards. You know what I'm saying? My cousin said that. Listen to this here, right? Dating was invented in about 1896 by women working in brothels because they couldn't connect or marry any men in the traditional meet my dad type of way. Why? Previous times, your father chose no woman going out in the world and I go meet a dude and I like him. See, this is how Leviticus 19 and 29 comes to play. Do not prostitute your daughter to make her a whore, lest the land fall into whoredom. Because when that type of behavior is executed, whoredom can be done because people will have a type of freedom that they are not responsible enough to have. So what's the next thing? These workers were ashamed when parents found out what they did for a living. Back then, slut shaming was a thing. And the worst type of label a woman can wear was being labeled a whore. The only way during this time you could court a virgin woman was to get the blessings of her father. You know what I'm saying? Because I literally just seen a woman in the Word talking about which one of you brothers gonna pay a bride price. Ain't nobody paying no bride price for you. And the reason being is the dowry was to ensure virginity. You know what I'm talking about? See, we like to say it's, the price of whatever the daughter did in the home. But in reality, it was to ensure virginity. How do we know this? Because they had tokens of virginity, literally. Let's go ahead and read it to them. Give me Deuteronomy 22. See, I'm going to get to that one there because that's dealing with pureness. That's dealing with Mashiach, if y'all remember. We ain't talked about it in a while. Deuteronomy 22. See, now I want y'all to take this in here. I don't want nobody to be in their carnal mind and in their feeling, because this is not about that. This is about the choices that we make and the outcomes that they have, and how we really are not paying attention and caring about each other like we say we do. Do you understand, right? Let me put it to you this way, right? Idealistically, a man should love his wife, that woman should love her husband, and they should come together, and the fruit of that love would be their child. You know what I'm talking about? So therefore, both of them would be virtually highly invested in the success of raising a healthy, functional child. You understand? To adulthood. When you have one person operating in lust, another person operating in lust, or one person operating in love and one person operating in lust, and they come together, they produce a child in a very inopportune situation, to where one person may look at it, I don't want to be with you no more, because they believe that I can go out here and get with another person who will deal with me and my child. But you didn't do that because you gave a damn about that child. You did that because that's what you wanted to do, because you're trying to convince yourself that you're actually invested in the success of that child, and you are not. You know what I'm talking about? You're thinking about what you want and what's beneficial to you. You know what I'm talking about? And that's just the reality of it. And where did that come from? Sexual liberation, sexual freedom. Because now the constructs, remember, as we were talking about Wednesday, these people hate Yahuwah, and the sexual revolution is for you to go against Yahuwah, because he's the only God who has restrictions on sexual conduct. There's no other God under heaven or on earth that could be called God that has any restrictions on sexual conduct besides Yahuwah. Allah ain't got none. Krishna ain't got none. Horus ain't got none. These people were sexually fluid and free. Yahuwah has restrictions. Do you know what I'm saying? If that's the point with the programming. You know what the programming is, but with that freedom will you maintain? And we could read in the text, we know the Benjamites was looking for booty hole. You know what I'm talking about? We know it say that every man was naying after his neighbor's wife. He said they defiled my name by two men going unto a maid. So we know that they wasn't holding to the programming. You know what I'm saying? Let's not act like we were just these vanguards of righteousness. Let's not do that. See, I mention these things because of certain things that happen, because of real life things from real people that I know. I know too many young girls who was touched because their mama was running niggas in and out that house. You know what I'm talking about? I know dudes who've been touched because mama was running niggas in and out that house. I know women, kids who've been killed because that nigga, had a nigga in that house and that wasn't his jit. And you didn't have that nigga in that house because you wanted a father figure for your child. You had that nigga in that house because you wanted him for you. So let's cut the crap. You know what I'm talking about? Let's just cut the crap. Let's not act like that we doing this for the turn, because you not. Because if you did, you would have been wiser. And what does that mean if you weren't wiser? That means our parents and grandparents, that means they failed us. That means they didn't give us the proper framework and instruction to make sure our behavior was reined in, so that we did not put ourselves in these undesirable situations and circumstances. But see, we black people, so you don't want to say mama failed you. You'll say your daddy failed you, but you don't want to say mama failed you. I'm going to say both of them did. You know what I'm talking about? See, I ain't gonna put it on mama back. I ain't gonna put it on daddy's back. I'm gonna put it on both of them. You know what I'm talking about? And you gonna have to own that. You got to own that. Or the churn ain't gonna be no better. You niggas talking about, they don't know damn generational curses. It's generational stupidity. You know what I'm saying? We like, oh, that's a generational curse. No, that nigga's stupid. You know what I'm talking about? And you getting raised by somebody stupid. So guess what you might be? Stupid. So we have to cut that crap, man. And some people will hear that. Oh, what about the men? This ain't even about the men. This is about two people. This is about our people. Two people coming together and just having fun with their bodies, not understanding that a child who didn't ask to be here is going to have to deal with your folly. You know what I'm talking about? Because now this baby here, now this baby got to deal with the aftermath of the decisions that both of y'all made. You know what I'm talking about? And I don't give a damn. See, I ain't on that jump about, oh man, it's the man, it's the woman. Man, bump all that. It's both of you niggas. You know what I'm talking about? It's both of you. You know why? Because you didn't consider. You were seeking pleasure. You know what I'm talking about? And in that pleasure, a child was produced. And now neither one of you are equipped to actually operate to be beneficial to this child because you only think about yourself. You know what I'm talking about? That's both of them. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. Straight up and down, man. Ain't nowhere around that. Shoot. Jay had mentioned how that junk affected her. Well, her mama doing that. See, we don't want to talk about that. See, man, I know dudes, man, they seen niggas running in and out their house, man. Like straight up and down. Man, look at man, the most difficult thing in the world. Like I said, I got a homeboy, man. Good brother, he in the word, man. He shook to his core. He going through some things, man. He raised another man's children for over a decade, and that woman took them children and left, and he can't see them kids along with his kids. That man devastated. And ain't nothing he can do. And guess what? You think that woman gave a damn about them kids? Because that man was there with them kids the whole time. But because you want what you want, you going to go ahead and slide. So that's my point. You didn't want no role model for them children. You ain't want no father for them. And y'all know that happens more often than niggas like to talk about. But yet people will tell people, no, man, you a good man if you go do that. You this if you go do that. See, the point of the matter is not to turn people from doing it. Do you understand what you're getting yourself into? See, it'd be no different if you look to a woman and say, yeah, man, you should mess with him, man. He got 3 kids from 3 different women. Do you understand what you did? But guess what? People do it all the time. Do it all the time. And then this is the other dynamic, which is the underlying dynamic that people don't like to discuss the least. The possible acrimony that can happen from mixed seed children being in the house when these kids don't share the same father. You know what I'm talking about? And maybe one father does this for his kid and the other father don't do this for his kid. And it's all, you're already going to have some sibling rivalries anyway. You know what I'm talking about? But then taking the point where they have different fathers and the fathers do different things for them, the underlying contempt and acrimony that can come from that. See, we don't talk about stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about? And how that can affect that child growing up because one of them sit back and be like, oh, that's why your daddy just that, there, and the third. Or he just mad because his daddy loved him more than your daddy loved you. And then you picking on and beating on this boy all his life. Because it happens. You know what I'm talking about? It happens more than we like to discuss. You know what I'm saying? You wonder why some niggas don't like their brothers, don't like their sisters. But see, black people, we don't like to talk about stuff like that. No, that don't happen. We like to live in a fairy tale of stupidity. A fairy tale of a reality that we craft in our mind. Because that doesn't mean it happens all the time. You got some people, some children that they look at, they don't know the difference of different daddies. That's my brother and I'm going to love my brother. That's my sister and I'm going to love my sister. But we do have this reality and we can't act like this stuff don't happen. So that we can actually talk to the children so they can understand the negativity of this is why you don't want to behave this way. This is why you don't want to put yourself in these type of situations instead of celebrating failure. You'll have a woman have a baby shower with no nigga in sight. You know what I'm saying? And hundreds of people in there cheering her on. And you know what that do? That justifies her in her mind that she ain't did nothing. Man, I was telling them, man, you know the most vile thing you would ever want to see? A man with a woman who is pregnant with another man's baby. Do you know what that says about that woman? Hell, do you know what that says about that man? You ain't even pushed this man baby out, and there's already another dude laid up in the bed with you. How much low level of respect you got to have for yourself to subject yourself to that? Ain't nothing cool about that. Man, I remember, man, when I leading up with my homegirl when I first got out of prison, she said, yeah, I'm pregnant, I'm about to have a baby. And she was like, hold on, my man coming. I said, oh, that's his daddy, the baby daddy? She like, no. I say, no. I said, this nigga got to be a bum because he's staying in your house. Because ain't no self-respecting man going to be staying with a woman who pregnant with another man's baby. I ain't talking about be with a woman who got another man. She's carrying it. I've heard stories of men going in the delivery room to deliver another man's baby. I would rather smoke crack than dishonor my father in such a fashion. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about a friend of the family. I'm talking about she was 4-5 months pregnant. You know what I'm talking about? You meet this dude. Yeah, she do think she doing that, but she know what she doing. He just a placeholder. And here you come. And guess what's going to happen when that baby come 8, 9, 10, 11 years old? That baby going to be asking for her dad. You know what I'm saying? See, that's the part that men don't want to get. You know, if you invest a lot of time in a child just to hear that child ask for their daddy, that's a punch in your chest. But guess what, though? As a man, you should already know in your mind. That's what I mean. Like, that doesn't mean that you don't gonna have love for this child, but you can't convince yourself that somebody else's child is yours. Because there will be a reality check that will come one day to remind you that that's not your baby. You know why? Because you can never come in between a spiritual and physical connection. And see, I mentioning that because the word talked about it. Because did he not say can't nobody pluck him out his hand? So that means once you become born of the word, nobody is going to be able to come between you and your father. Not your natural father, not no one. And see, that doesn't make the child evil. It doesn't make the man a fool per se. It makes you have to understand that you can love that baby, and you can raise that baby, and you can do all of that. But you're going to have to remember, the day is going to come when that baby going to want to see their daddy. That they're going to ask for their daddy. And you can't be like, well, I did all this for you and I did this for you. How you going to do that? Because this is what men rationalize in their mind because you've allowed yourself to believe that that's your child. You know what I'm saying? That's your child because you're teaching them, because they under your wing. That's your. I could sit back and be like, everybody in the congregation, my child, I done birthed you in the word and did this, that, and the third. I can have that same mentality. But guess what, though? If Yahuwah came up, I can't be looking at him like, man, it's my turn. Because y'all his turn. You know what I'm talking about? You're not mine. I didn't, because it ain't my seed. You understand what I'm telling you? So you have to sit back and look at that. That's disheartening for a lot of dudes. Man, I remember being as a kid. Y'all done heard a little rug just outright hellion look somebody in the face and tell them, you're not my daddy. You ain't my mama. Of course, little girls tell everybody this one. You're not the boss of me. You know what I'm saying? Little girls tell anybody that one, so that's different. That's crushing to the soul when you genuinely invested in that child's success. But when you understand that, that child has a connection with their father, because guess what? You got a connection with yours. I'm talking about your natural father. You got a connection with him. You love him. Whether he did this or whether he did that, it don't matter. If you know your daddy, you love your daddy. You know what I'm talking about? So you have to know that. And guess what? You got a connection with your natural father, but then you got a father in heaven. You understand? Why I got you at?
Deuteronomy 22:13.
Yeah, tell me what Deuteronomy 22 and 13 is.
If any man take a wife and go in unto her and hate her and give occasions of speech against her and bring up an evil name upon her and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid.
Give a maid by definition. And I'm leading this here because in creating a new heaven, a new earth, guess what you got to be? A new creature.
Virginity.
And he said, all things are what? Passed away. We say virginity, good sir?
That's what it means.
What's it? Give me a Hebrew word.
Bethlehem.
Bethlehem. Virginity. So I didn't find her a virgin. Come on, roll with it.
Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth, tokens ain't even there, the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hate her.
He hate her.
And lo, he
give him hate by definition. So guess what? You hate a virgin. If she a virgin, guess what that means she is? She pure. Go ahead, give me that word.
Sane, that is to hate, to be hateful.
To be hateful. Come on with it. Remember, Mashiach said in John 15, they hated me without a what? Okay.
And lo, he have given occasion of speech.
They giving a what?
Occasion of speech.
Give him occasion. We know speech is the bar, or maybe a mark.
No, it's the bar.
It's the bar. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. A lilaw, wantonness, deed, doing.
A
Practices, evil deeds.
Evil deeds. He done spoke evil speech. What they did to Mashiach? Didn't they speak evil against him? Because they hated him, trying to say he wasn't a virgin, because they tried to say he was a what? A blasphemer and a deceiver, right? They were bringing up occasions of evil speech against him, were they not? Continue, good sir.
Saying, I found not your daughter a maid, and yet these of my daughter, of these, the tokens of my daughter's virginity, and they shall spread the cloth.
That in, or they just inserted it?
So
here's her virginity.
Yeah, they inserted it everywhere.
Go ahead.
Of my daughter's virginity, and they shall spread the cloth before the elders.
They spread the who?
The cloth.
Give them cloth by definition.
Simla, a wrapper, mantle, covering garment.
A mantle, a covering garment.
Raiment, clothes.
Clothes. So this ain't dealing with just some random thing. This is token. This is evidence that my daughter is pure. Continue, good sir.
And the elders of that city shall take that man and chastise him.
And do what?
Chastise him.
And do what?
Chastise him.
Okay.
And they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver and give unto the father of the damsel, because he hath brought up an evil name upon a virgin.
So he gonna have to pay more money to that one. See that's the thing, right? And the reason why I know a lot of sisters in the word get like this, because they know they don't qualify, and then they feel like that makes them lesser. It does, but you just got to live with that. You know what I'm talking about? Because at the end of the day, this is the thing. What does our law say, right? He forgives sin and iniquity, but what he don't do? No. It's by no means clears the guilty. So though you may be forgiven, there's still consequences that you may have to suffer for what you've chosen to do. Remember, he forgave David, but he didn't clear him. So there's no way that you could come to a man and demand a bride price, because we're going to have to prove that you're a virgin. I can't assure virginity, because that's what you're paying for. You know what I'm talking about? That's what you're paying for. You're paying for pureness. So when you look at Mashiach, and he's symbolic of this particular matter, you know what I'm talking about? We have to prove that he is a virgin, because they spoke evil on him, calling him a sinner, just like this man is doing on this woman. You're calling her a sinner. You know how, clearly as you can read it, do you understand how foul of a thing that was at that time? If Civic would have said, because see, this was what dating or courting ended up. So I'd be telling, oh, he got to court me. You stupid heifer, you ain't court. You can't court without your daddy, because your daddy would betroth you to a man, and then you would court. You don't meet a nigga at the grocery store, meet a nigga on Facebook talking about you courting. You stupid. You trying to do stuff that you don't even fit to make yourself feel better by being stupid. You know what I'm talking about? And that's on both ends of the matter. It is what it is. But this is why I mentioned this for, right? If I'm your father and I say, you know what, I'm going to give Civic to you. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be your husband. And he come back and say, she ain't no virgin. And we prove that's disrespectful, not only to you, but to me. Because that's saying I wasn't running my house properly. Because then they say, if she be found to play the whore well in her father's house, that means her father wasn't. That's disrespect to my family. You dishonoring my name. See, we don't pay attention to stuff like that. You know why? Because people don't give a damn about dishonoring their father's name. They don't care. Now, of course, that's in tune to the society that we live in. He said, makes me remember when David's son took his sister and rendered her cloth a virgin. Yeah, that's right. You know about that story? When David's son raped his sister and she was a virgin. Like, see, the reason why I'm focusing on this here, because we're going past just the actual part of virgin sex. It's the purity. It's the cleanliness. This is what Yahuwah values. You know what I'm saying? He wants you to be pure inwardly. You know what I'm saying? It's not just because at the end of the day, we know that ain't nobody out here no virgin. So ain't nobody focusing on that. But I will say this here. I wouldn't even take a woman seriously who was a non-virgin that say where the dowry at. I would laugh in her face. Like, is you serious? A dowry? Are you serious? Where's the purity? Because and a lot of people's mind, they feel like it don't matter what I've done, I should still be here. It's just like a man, if he done reached a certain age in his life and he's a failure, and he still feels like you should see him as this man over here who's not. I should have the same value as that man over there, though I have not done the work. No, I have not had the success. I didn't make this. I ain't did nothing that he did, but you should see me like you see him. No, that's not how that works, bro. You're a loser. You can't be sitting around here. You've been sitting around all your life twiddling your thumb. You know what I'm talking about? Playing with your penis and think you a winner. Man, I don't even want to tell you. I just said that. I don't even want to tell you this stuff this woman told me that these niggas be using to get some buns. Lord have mercy. Man, look at man. Man, this woman told us what she said. I can't even remember what she said, man. She said a nigga read a verse talking about guard. You know, the verse in Proverbs would say, guard your heart. Because the issue, she said, the dude used that verse saying that if she didn't guard her vagina and she had sex with another man, they gave him license to beat her. I said, well, come on, give me John chapter 20, man, verse 1. I'd be like, see, but the reason why I mentioned that is because, and that's for any sister who on here now or will jump on here later. That's why you don't want to try to get with a dude who want to teach you the word and he ain't part of no congregation or organization. And he the only one want to teach you. Because 9 times out of 10, he gonna try to teach you according to his own lust. You know what I'm talking about? And use the word to manipulate you, to get you to go for whatever he got going on so you can be with him. Because if he ain't invested in saving your soul, then yeah, I'm talking about, and she know how to use the dustpan. That's the part that tripped me out. Joanne, you sizing up?
We playing nice. We talking nice. We playing nice.
Come on, Silly. John 20 and 1. We also hold in Matthew 13 and 18.
The first of the week come Mary Magdalene early when it was yet dark unto the sepulchre.
What did it say?
See the stone taken away from the sepulchre.
She saw the what?
The stone taken away from the sepulchre.
Mm-hmm.
Then she run and comes to Simon Peter and to the other disciple whom Yahweh shall love, and say unto them, they have taken away the Lord out of the sepulchre.
And I don't know what they've done with him.
I don't know where they have laid him.
Mm-hmm.
Peter therefore went forth and that other disciple and came to the sepulchre. So they ran both together, and the other disciple did outrun Peter and came first to the sepulchre.
All right.
And he stooping down saw the linen clothes lying.
He saw the linen what?
Clothes.
Saw the linen what?
Clothes.
What it said that virginity, what them tokens of virginity, what it said it was?
Clothes.
Some clothes. See, he left the tokens right there. They had all that evil speech, but they go to tokens right here. Here's the evidence that this man was pure. What did Pilate say? Pilate say, man, what has he done? He said, I ain't found no fault in this just man. And that's the token. That's the evidence. Now, why is them linen clothes important? Give me Revelation 19 and 7. And after that, Matthew 13 and 18.
Let us be glad and rejoice.
Let us be what?
Glad and rejoice.
Why is that?
And give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come.
The marriage of who?
Of the Lamb.
What's right?
Is come, and his wife have made herself ready.
What's that?
And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen.
Fine what?
Fine linen.
Fine what?
Fine linen.
Clean and what?
White.
Which is what?
For the fine linen is the righteousness of saints.
Mm-hmm. So when you see that, you notice how I said it was a token. It was a garment. You see Mashiach had a garment. If you go read John 19, you know that's a linen garment that Joseph of Arimathea wrapped him in. And that linen garment is the righteousness of the saints, because that Ruach HaKodesh would be proof positive of your virginity, of your pureness. You understand what I'm telling you? That's why I say what we talking about is deeper than somebody cocking their legs open and pulling their penis out. We talking about actually being pure in the eyesight in heaven. You know what I'm talking about? And having the evidence of proof of your virginity. You know what I'm talking about? The proof of your virginity, the proof of your pureness will be that fine linen, clean and white, which it would be the Ruach HaKodesh. Because remember what the text tell you in Ecclesiastes. Make sure that your head don't lack no ointment and your garments always what? White. You understand? Matthew 13 and 18. It's the same thing. We'll be talking about him not taking care of another man's child. And I ain't even talking about Satan. Because guess what? We're going to see it in a moment. Everybody in here got a father, obviously, or you wouldn't be here. You belong to him because you his seed. You're going to have to be born of Yahuwah's seed. That's what I really mean when he said he ain't taking care of another man's child. Not Satan, but your literal father. And Peter, you're going to read it. Peter going to say it. You know what I'm talking about? That you're going to have to be born of a particular type of seed versus another particular type of seed. You know what I'm talking about? To divest yourself from your physical father because he's going to take care of you because you belong to your father. You're going to need to be born of my seed so you can belong to me so I can be your father. You understand what I'm telling you? Has nothing to do, like I say, my mind went somewhere else when it clicked in my brain. Because like this here, because he's not going, what benefit is Yahuwah going to get if you're not his child and he's extending the benefits of righteousness to you? Yes.
So, what I said, be a good example.
What's that? What you say?
With Ruth, because she said she would leave her people
Yeah.
to
Yeah. I mean, because because she went to say, I'll be born of the word. See, the reason why I asked you that question, because I wanted you to sit back and think about Numbers 15. And what does it say in Numbers 15? One manner of law for you and the stranger. As you are, so the stranger shall be. So you're going to have to be born of the word, and the stranger going to have to be born of the word for everybody to be his offspring. Everybody going to have to be born of him. If you're not born of him, he's not taking care of you because you would be the seed of your father. That's even before we get into talking about if you live in and Satan be your daddy. I ain't even trying to even get to that particular point. You know what I'm saying? Because that's obvious that he's not going to take care of you if you Satan's child. You know what I'm talking about? But if you steal your father's child, no, he's not going to take care of you. Because what does Psalm 27 say? He said, if my father or my mother forsake me, oh, they don't know what it says. You don't know what it says? Psalm 27. He don't know. You know what it says? You need to get out of my house. Go stand in the cold. You used to it. You a New York nigga. Y'all like that stuff. Y'all like to walk outside and look at my breath. Or does that get old for you?
You laugh after that for real?
They do. As a grown person, I can see as a child. Every child's done it. You outside smoking cigarettes, pretend you want to pretend to smoke. Come on, man. Psalms 27 and 10.
When my father and my mother forsake me.
When who?
My father and my mother.
Man, back me up to 7, man. Tell me what that say. What y'all over there with them? What y'all got going on?
Hero Yahuwah, I cry with my voice. Have mercy also upon me and answer me.
Answer me, Lord, please.
Seek you my face. My heart said unto you, your face, Yahuwah, will I seek.
That's right.
Hide not your face from me.
Hide not your face from me.
Put not your servant away in anger.
In anger.
You have been my help. Leave me not.
That's right.
Neither forsake me, O Elohim of my salvation.
That's right.
When my father and my mother forsake me.
When my father and mother what?
Forsake me.
When they do what?
Forsake me.
When they stay with me.
Forsake me.
When they call me to the house.
Forsake me.
When they love me.
Forsake me.
What's going to happen?
Yahuwah will take me up.
That's right. That's right. You see, that's when you understand that you would have to be born of him. Good. Come on back. Where we was at?
Matthew 13.
Matthew 13 and 18.
Hear you therefore the parable of the sower.
Mm-hmm.
When anyone hear the word of the kingdom and understand not, then come the wicked.
Here come the who?
The wicked.
That's right.
And catch away that which was sown in his heart.
That was already there.
This is he which received seed by the wayside.
Come on with it.
But he that received the seed into stony places, the same as he that heard the word, and anon with joy receives it.
That's right.
Yet he had no root in himself.
He ain't got no root.
But endured for a while, for when tribulation and persecution arise because of the word,
By and by,
he is offended.
come on.
He also that received seed among the thorns is he that hear the word.
That's right.
And the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches
Choke off the word that it don't do what?
become unfruitful.
Mm-hmm.
But he that receives seed into the good ground
Is it where?
into the good ground.
In the where?
In the good ground.
Okay.
Is he that hear the word and understand.
And do what?
Which also bear fruit.
It bear what?
Bear fruit.
It bear what?
Bear fruit and bring forth some 100-fold, some 60, some 30.
Now give me Luke chapter 8, man. Give me verse 5, man.
A sower went out to sow his seed, and as he sowed, some fell by the wayside, and it was trodden down, and the fowls of the air devoured it.
That's right.
And some fell upon a rock, and as soon as it was sprung up, it withered away because it lacked moisture.
That's right.
And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprang up with it and choked it.
That's right.
And other fell on good ground and sprang up and bare fruit 100-fold.
That's right.
And when he had said these things, he cried, "He that have ears to hear, let him hear."
He that can hear the word, believe it. Come on.
And his disciples asked him, saying, "What might this parable be?"
What
and he
might
said,
this parable be?
"Unto you it is given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of Shamahim,
That's
of
right.
Elohim, but to others in parables,
That's
that
right.
seeing they might not see, and hearing they might not understand."
That's right.
Now the parable is this.
The parable is what?
Is this.
What is that parable,
The
good
seed
sir?
is the word of Elohim.
The seed is what?
The word of Elohim.
The seed is what?
The word of Elohim.
Seed in Hebrew is zarah. A child can only be produced through what? Seed. Now, he said the seed fall in the good ground and bring forth what? Then what did we read earlier? He said, except it fall on the ground and abide alone and die, it do what? Abide alone. But if it die, bring forth much what? What does the text call a woman when she gives birth to a child? How does it describe it? The fruit of her womb. Well, why is it described as fruit? Because it's produced from the seed. So when that seed fall in your heart, or that word fall in your heart, you're supposed to bond with it. The same way a woman bonds with a man's seed. And you become what? One with it. What did Yahushua pray for in John 17? But make them be perfect in one as we are. Well, what are they perfect in one with? They're perfect in one in the word. See, I mentioned this here, right? That bara, the word for create, is bat, Raj, and Olive. And that's the strength of the Son of the highest. Well, what is the strength of the Son of the highest? It's the word of faith. Because trusting Yahuwah, for trusting Yahuwah is everlasting strength. So the strength of the Son of the highest is the word of faith, which is the seed, which is how you can be created in his image. You can't become in his image if you're not born of the word. That's impossible. That is utterly impossible. Give me Romans 9 and 4. After Romans 9 and 4, 1 Peter chapter 1, man, verse 17.
Who are Israelites, to whom the adoption and the esteem and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service and the promises, who's the father and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Hamashiach came, who is over all, Elohim, Baruch forever. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Not as though the word of Elohim have taken none effect.
That's right.
For they, not all Yasharah, which are of Yasharah.
For they that are not all Yasharah. See, everybody that's not everybody in Israel ain't Israel. Don't even know what that means. Listen to what he say.
Neither because they are the seed of Abraham.
He say neither are because they. You see what I'm telling you, that even though you the seed of Abraham naturally, you still, that's not your father. Listen to him.
All children, but in Isaac shall your seed be called.
And who?
Isaac.
Listen to him.
That is, they which are children of the flesh, these not the children of Elohim.
They not the sons of
But
Elohim.
the children of the promise are counted for the seed.
What is the promise? What is the word? Boy, if you ain't of the word, boy, you not his child. So see, Yahuwah's not taking care of children. That because didn't he just say that if you are the flesh and you Abraham's seed, he ain't taking care of you. You're gonna have to be born of the word for him to take care of you. Give me 1 Peter 1 and 17. See, hold on, before you do this here, right? Because I want to go to adoption. Because see, people read that. See, he adopted us. You know what I'm saying? See, you think about adoption in the general sense. In the sense of, and shalom, bro. You think about adoption in English, but that ain't what it means. It's still going to tell you you're going to have to be born of this word, or you're going to have to be born of the Ruach. You're going to have to be born of this word, or you're not his child. This man ain't taking care of Abraham's children. He ain't taking care of Yefet's children. He ain't taking care of Ham's children. He taking care of his own children. All those who are born of the word. That's who he taking care of. Come over here to Romans 8, man. Give me 8. Give me 8 and 6, man. They ain't gonna hurt nobody. I'll do it because it's a lot. And there's some certain stuff I'm going to mention. Romans 8 and 6. For to be carnally minded, death. But to be spiritually minded, life and shalom. Because the carnal mind is hatred against Elohim. For it is not subject to the law of Elohim, neither indeed can be. So this is another partial reason why you have to be born again. You're going to have to, because when you have the carnal mind, that is not congruent with Yahuwah. See, we were talking to some people yesterday, right? And they were talking about, everybody like, you got to have the mercy. It's the process, all the time. All that just sound good till you read Ezekiel 33. And he said, yeah, man, if you trust in your own right, if the righteous say to himself, I trust in my own righteousness and go and commit iniquity. He said, when he go and commit iniquity in the day he committed, he gonna die. Because the sentence against an evil work isn't executed speedily. It is privily in the hearts of the sons of men to do evil. See, we be around here wilding, man. I seen a brother today say, can you be a just man and not sin? And niggas say everybody's sin. Well, then, nigga, how are you going to be just? You can't be just in sin. That's an oxymoron. 8 and 8, Romans. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please Elohim. You are not in the flesh, but in the Ruach. If so be that the Ruach of Elohim dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the Ruach of Hamashiach, guess what he said? You're none of what? So that means you're not his child. Now, why is that important? If you have the Ruach of Mashiach, then you would produce the fruit of said Ruach, which means you would have been born of that seed. So the evidence would be the joy, the peace, the long-suffering, the gentleness, the goodness, the meekness, the self-control, the faith, the love, the joy, the peace. That's evidence that you're his child. It's the same token, right? Monte can look at his sons and he can see himself in his sons. He can see they're in his image and likeness. I can look at Joanne. I can look at her. She's in my image and likeness. Do you know what I'm talking about? That's how you know this is my child. So when Yahuwah look at you, he looking for the joy. He looking for the peace. He looking for the long suffering. He looking for the goodness. He's looking for the faith, the love, the self-control. That's what he's looking for you to be in his image. You know what I'm talking about? The mercy, the judgment. This is what he's looking for. This is how he gonna know that this is my child. You've been born of the seed. If you don't possess those characteristics, then he know you're not my child. And I'm not obligated to you. And I'm not bringing you into my house to care for you. That's when you're gonna look at him and say, depart from me. I don't know you. You ain't none of my child. I'm not taking care of you, nigga. See, that's tough right there. See, don't get on the natural side and be like, I'll find somebody to love my child. Because guess what? If you ain't Yahuwah child, you ain't going to find nobody to love you. You going to hell. If you're not his child, ain't nobody out here going to love you. Ain't nobody out here going to take you up. Ain't nobody out here going to do nothing for you. You're going to hell. And when I say going to hell, you're going to the grave. A dark, deep place where there's weeping and gnashing of teeth. And you'll be separated from his presence for all eternity. There'll be no benefit for you. Don't you know we can read in Ezekiel that he said he give gifts to all his who? Children. All his children. That's what Ezekiel said. He said, to him that overcome, he shall do what? Inherit all things. And I shall be his Elohim, and he shall be my what? It's because he ain't giving no inheritance to somebody that you don't give inheritance to those that are not your children. Who does that? You think one of the Waltons gonna leave you an inheritance, Doris? When Sam Walton died, he ain't putting none of us in his will. He wasn't going around talking about, let me find some churn to put in my will. Shoot, some of the people don't want to leave nothing to their own churn. Because guess what? Y'all just seen it. Well, I just happened to see it. I forgot who sent me the clip. Y'all just seen it because you can guarantee Romeo Miller getting written out the will. Write you out the will. You know what I'm talking about? One thing, I don't know how black folk might be different, but rich white folks, Well, they'll write, they churn out the real quick. That nigga said, who?
That's what
His name is
That's wrong too.
Percy?
Because you know his name is
I know Percy and Mercy. I see why Romeo upset. All the other children get a rhyming name, and I'm Romeo. Oh, I don't know what his name is. Oh, I don't know the nigga name. We can find out. Shoot, I don't know these niggas like that. Daddy called him Romeo, I'm gonna call him Romeo. Boy, ain't nothing wrong with you, boy. Well, let's see what his real name is. Yeah, his name is Percy. Percy Romeo Miller. You say like their mama. I don't know. I didn't mention that there because he's just a rich child who was selling out, so he probably get written out the will. Because I ain't gonna lie to you. I get to where I want to be in Joanne, go to selling out. That nigga's out the will. I leave all the money to the dirt. The dirt can have it. You won't get none of your ungrateful bastard. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up and down. And see, the one thing about me is, that ain't right. You shouldn't do nothing. Shoot, I do what the hell I want to do it. That's my money. I work for it. Yeah, you're ungrateful bastard. You know what I'm talking about? That's why sometimes it be a detriment if you're rich and you got churned and them niggas and they ain't had to go through nothing. Sometimes you got to make the boys go through something. I ain't gonna be like, you the rich kid, nigga. You going to get a job at McDonald's, nigga. But are you my dad? McDonald's, nigga. Big Macs. Fries. You around here talking about some ICDC college, you bastard, you. What happened to your basketball career, nigga? You sucked. Just like your dad. So he should look out for you. Both you niggas suck. You know what I'm talking about? You niggas can play no ball. You know what I'm talking about? Come on, man. Romans 8:10. He said, Hamashiach in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the Ruach is life because of righteousness. But the Ruach of him that raised up Yahushua from the dead dwell in you. He that raised up Hamashiach from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by his Ruach that dwell in you. Therefore, brethren, we are debtors not to the flesh to live after the flesh, for if you live after the flesh, you shall die. But if you through the Ruach do mortify the deeds of the body, you shall live. For as many as are led by the Ruach of Elohim, they are the what? Sons of Elohim. You have not received the Ruach of bondage again to fear, but you have received the Ruach of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba. The Ruach itself bear witness with our Ruach that we are the sons of Elohim. And if sons, then heirs. Heirs of Elohim, joint heirs with the Mashiach. If so be that we suffer with, that we also might be esteemed together. Now, I just want you to hear the Greek word for adoption. There is no Hebrew word for adoption. The Greek word for adoption is hiothesia. Adoption is sons, but this is then when we get to what it's really about. The relationship which Elohim was pleased to establish between himself and the Israelites in preference to all other nations, meaning a covenant. Remember what we read? He said, Israel is my what? Firstborn. That's what it said, right? We know he is firstborn because of what? Because of Isaac. You know what I'm saying? This promise, the promised seed, if you would. The nature and condition of the true disciples in Hamashiach, who by receiving the Ruach of Elohim into their souls become the sons of Elohim. Remember we were talking about him drinking that cup? Again, that's a covenant because the Ruach is evidence of a covenant. So it's not adoption like, hey, I'm going to make you my child. And there isn't any proof positive that you're, no. That's not what that means. The blessed state look for the future life after the visible return of a Mashiach from Shamahim. But see, the key point is the things that come after that, adoption as sons, because at the end of the day, Isaac wasn't adopted as a son. Isaac is a son because of what? Promise. And what was the promise by? By a word. So you become a son by a word. The same way that when we looked in Hebrew, when it said that he let us make man in our image, and what did it read to in Hebrew? That Elohim created Adam by a what? By a word. You know what I'm talking about? So everything that we get into is taking us back to that seed or being created by a word, being born by the word. You understand? It's not adoption in the aspect of how we look at adoption, that you go downtown to an adoption agency, you know what I'm talking about, and say, I'm going to take somebody else's child as my own. He's going to take you as his child when you enter into a covenant with him. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, I don't want you to get caught in the natural, because Yahuwah is not taking care of a child that is not his. He's not doing it. You're going to have to be born. Give me John 3. Was she tormenting you, man?
She did.
You tried to hit her with one.
Joanne, why you being like that? She ain't really never played with nobody that her size on a regular basis. Huh, come here, Joanne. Come here, Joanne. Why you being that way? Come on.
Bully.
You bullying people? Huh? And she eyeballing them too.
I'm so sorry.
Why you acting like that? What?
You beat up on people at home.
Go ahead, give me John 3 and 3. I said 8, but we need 3 and 3.
Yahushua answered and said unto him, truly, truly, I say unto you, except a man be born again, he cannot see the
Except
kingdom
if a
of
man
Elohim.
be what?
Born again.
Except he be what?
Born again.
He can't do what?
See the kingdom of Elohim. Nicodemus said unto him, how can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born?
Can he go back in his mama coochie and come out again?
Yahushua answered, truly, truly, I say unto you, except a man be born of water.
Except he be born of what?
Of water.
Of what?
Of water.
And the what?
The Ruach.
He can't.
Enter into the kingdom of Elohim.
Don't you realize all your forefathers were born of the water and the word? They came through that doggone wilderness, walked through the Red Sea, and when they came in the land, because Yahushua son of Nun parted the Jordan River and they walked across it. Y'all do know that, right? You knew that, Doris? Why you messing with that, Joanne? What? 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 Come on. Come on. No, that distracted. She like to hear noise. She like to make noise. She finna probably come and bop you. After she steal your bag. Come on. John, what John verse you in?
He's still in 5.
John 3 and 5, running from the top.
Yahushua answered, truly, truly, I say unto you, except a man be born of water and the spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of Elohim.
Can't do it.
That which is born of the flesh is flesh.
That which is born of the what?
Of the flesh.
If you born of your daddy, guess what you is? See, that's what you were supposed to learn with Ishmael and Isaac. Ishmael was born of the flesh. Ishmael was born, that Ishmael is representative of being born of the works of the law. Isaac is representative of being born of faith, born of the promise, born by a word. Oh, they don't want to hear that. You sound like a Christian, you mammy nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Because I ain't one of these niggas y'all used to. I'm disrespectful and rude like Elijah, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Let that be known. I crack jokes and I'm disrespectful. You know what I'm talking about? And I preach the word to you and rank on you at the same time. I told you, know what Will say, nigga say, how he gonna say he got the word, ha, 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 these nuts. I got it, nigga, praise God. You don't like it, take it up with him. But I guess what? I'ma still be the same disrespectful nigga to you hard-headed, unbelieving, wicked bastards. Let that be known. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't finna switch up and be what you want me to be, because I don't perform fellatio and I don't toss salads. You know what I'm talking about? Come on, man.
That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Ruach is Ruach.
That's right.
Marvel not that I said unto you.
Don't be amazed that I said you got to be born again.
The wind blow where
it listed.
And you hear the sound thereof.
But you don't know which way it's going.
And whether it go, so is everyone that is born of the Ruach.
So is everybody that's born of the word. Well, you're going to have to be created. You're going to have to be Barak. You're going to have to be made. The only way you're going to become new, you're going to have to be born by word. You ain't getting around that, man. I got it. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 17. I'll let you would be esteemed. See, some people, they going to come back and hear this, man, he hate women and all this, that, there, and the third. You hate your mama, nigga. That's what your problem is. And you hate righteousness. Because we ain't talking about your bald-headed mama. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? We talking about literally being born of the word, understanding that Yahuwah is not going to care for anybody that is not his seed. And the only way you could be his seed is being born of the promise. That means you're going to have to be born of the word. Ain't no way around it. It ain't no way around it. You're going to have to be born of the word, man. You're going to have to. Or you're not his son. He's not going to care for you. Ain't that what you seen in Romans 9? That's what it said, didn't it? It said it wasn't, he said Abraham's seed ain't counted for the seed, but he said not the flesh, but the stones that's of the promise. And the promise come by the word, man. You're going to have to believe the word. It's a whole lot of niggas going to be offended. Go take it up with your scandalous mama and your ignorant behind daddy. You know what I'm talking about? And you know who your scandalous mama is? The earth that you trust. And your raggedy behind daddy is Satan himself. You evil bastard Jew. You know what I'm talking about? 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 16. Because it is written, I give you 13. Wherefore, gird up the loins of your mind, be sober, and hope to the end for the mercy that is brought to you at the revelation of Yahushua HaMashiach as obedient children, not fashioning yourselves according to the former lust in your ignorance. You see how you got fashioned from one state to another? But he which is called you is Kadash. So be you Kadash in all manner of conduct. Because it is written, be you Kadash, for I'm Kadash. And you, if you call on Abba, who without respect of persons, judge according to every man's work, pass the time of your sojourning in fear. For as much as you know that you were not redeemed with corruptible things, silver and gold from the vain conduct by tradition from your fathers, but with the precious blood of Hamashiach as of a lamb without blemish and without spot, who truly was foreordained before the foundation of the world, but was manifest in these last times for you, who by him do believe in Elohim that raised him up from the dead and gave him esteem that your faith and hope might be in Elohim, seeing that you have purified your souls in obeying the Amath through the Ruach under unfeigned love of the brethren, love one another with a pure heart fervently, being born again, not of corruptible seed, but of incorruptible by the word of Elohim, which live and abide forever. For all flesh as grass, and all the esteem of men as the flower of grass. The grass wither, the flower thereof fall away, but the word of Yahuwah endure forever. And this is the word which by the Basar is preached unto you. Now back that up. What y'all think that corruptible seed is? Because remember what he said in Psalm 16. He said, my flesh rests in hope because you haven't suffered your Kadash. You want to do what? See corruption. So how would a man see corruption? He would have to die. And if he dies, what does 1 Corinthians 15 tell us? And who? Adam, we all what? We all die. So the corruptible seed is the seed of man, not because man's seed is corruptible inherently because something evil is in it. It's corruptible because you die. So you can't be born because everybody is born of what? Who your father is. You know what I'm saying? See, you want to know this here? My father is corruptible. You know why? Because we can ride about 20 to 25 minutes from here, and he is in Edgewood Cemetery. You know what I'm talking about? And he is corrupted. He's been there 5 years. I guarantee at this point, ain't nothing but bones. You know what I'm talking about? His flesh has corrupted. Let me look up that corruptible in Psalm 16 real quick, y'all. Hold on. That done said 35. It's an abomination before man. Brad told me today, boy, it was 3 degrees in Detroit. And with the wind, and he said with the feel like it was minus 17. I'd have moved. I'd have left everybody behind. Wife, kids, family. I'm gone. Amen, brother. I'm gone. I can't stay here no more. Corruption in this particular instance is shakah. It is pit. It is destruction. It is grave. It is the pit of hell. It is destruction. It is ditch. It is the grave. It is the pit. You know what I'm saying? The seed of man is going to the grave. The seed of man is going to the grave. But everybody who was born of the word, Yahuwah can't die. You know what Deuteronomy 32 say? As it pertains to Yahuwah living and dying. Do y'all know what that say? Don't worry about it. Deuteronomy 32 and 4. What, you ain't have it? You around here looking like a pure savage. Look like you fought all the children in the neighborhood. You probably had that fan hair there in the back.
I did not. I had the ponytail. I was about 4.
You had that fan hairdo. You know, all the little girls in the neighborhood, if they had that fan hairdo, she fought. I told you. Woo! Misha said it's -3 degrees in Chicago. I'd have left everybody. Everybody like to see it. They were like, "Where Misha at?" I ain't talked to her. Next thing you know, I'm on, where you at? Arizona, Los Angeles, Florida, somewhere warm. Shoot, you go to Phoenix, boy, I guarantee you. Shoot, it better.
No, but I heard it get cold here too.
Oh yeah, because Vegas gets freezing.
Yeah, I heard it get just as cold.
It's cooler.
Yeah,
But
like,
Miami.
close to
Yeah,
zero.
hey man, then there's LA and Florida. It is.
Oh yeah, LA.
I just seen a nigga posting on Instagram. Nigga, it's 0 degrees in Nashville. Boy, that boy Drew say it feel like -40 with the wind chill.
It's like a national snowstorm that's just covering the whole U.S.
It's the wrath of Yahuwah on you wicked niggas.
It's just going by.
And now we have to suffer because of your folly in 20-degree weather.
It's hitting everybody.
Shoot, with that hawk cutting, it's real bad.
It's 19 in Springfield. No, they cold.
It's gonna be 24 tomorrow.
Look here, man. Let me tell you something. For all you wicked bastards, I hope your nipples fall off. I hope the skin of your scrotum get wrinkled and never get straight. I hope your toes break. I hope your tires bust and your driveway crack under the weight of the snow. Because of your wickedness, we got to deal with this ungodly temperatures. No, man, shoot. I done been out there, man. I done sold crack in it. I mean, that ain't that big of a deal, but I don't want to live in that. So I promise you right now, boy, -40 wind chill, I'm gone. And I ain't never coming back. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't living nowhere where it's -40. Brother Renner said 26, where he at? I'm gone. I ain't living nowhere where they talking about, oh, what's the temp? Oh, it's -40. Absolutely not. That's not, no.
Say it so casual.
The crazy part is, man, Jada Go had said on Instagram, man, that the high in Detroit was 38, but the low was 4. How do we go from a 34-degree? What is this? See, we used to it being 30 and then it get to 70. Now it's 38, get to 4. I'm leaving. I'm not living here. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing enjoyable about it. I love it. What's enjoyable about 4 degrees? You can't go outside in -40, nigga. You're going to die. You can't dress warm from -40. You can't go outside in that. It doesn't matter.
It'll be a shutdown.
Man, you can't convince a nigga that this is acceptable. This is fun. It's 2 degrees. Hell no. Nigga, the snow this is not enjoyable. You know what's not enjoyable? My penis has retracted into my body.
It'll just be a snowing day and you just stay home and enjoy time with your family.
Now I gotta be around niggas I don't like.
And then when they grow up, you just go back to school, go back to work. That's how
They
it
can't go to
goes.
work though. They can't go to work.
Look at what he says. Look what Brother Langford said. Shalom, Brashaw. He's saying you still got to go to work. Because Trav was out there today. People don't care nothing. It's -2.
I mean, it's like you said, it's just close to
Man, yeah, I know it.
0.
Man, ain't enough Long Johns and North Face in the world. I wouldn't care if a nigga say we got a job up there, man, and we'll pay you $4.5 million. You keep your money. I ain't going to no -40. I ain't going to that. I'm straight. You keep that money, because I might not live to spend it.
You are gonna live.
Man, that nigga Trav told me, man, he had to thaw his feet out. I'm not going outside in that. I don't want nothing to do with that. I ain't going to that. No minus. Not no minus. I ain't comfortable. You can't be comfortable in no minus.
And the work they had the sports guy out there.
Frostbite, nigga. Now you walk around here nubby. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Your genitals don't work no more. Your butthole done froze. You can't even take a dump. No, I'm straight. That nigga Drew say ain't nobody come to work today. It was only him and 3 other niggas. Well, Montclair ain't stopping no -4. Definitely not no -40, no -17. I don't think it's a jacket made by man gonna stop that. Well, how many niggas you know hanging out in it? Nah, nigga. Then you got that, like I told you, man, we was up there, man, Trav house. That nigga had the heat on hell. I don't want to live like that. And it wasn't up in the 40s and 20s. It was 40-20. See, it wasn't that bad up there because they cold ain't like our cold, man. Because that's just like today, right? It wasn't cold out there temperature-wise. But boy, man, nigga, in the shade, nigga. It was only when we was in the shade. Only in the shade. Only in the shade. And we didn't even have the heat on. It was hot in that hole. Damn sure wasn't hot out that door. You know what I'm talking about? I'm straight on that, boy. I don't want to live in that. There's no way the nigga can convince me to live in a climate that get that cold. I ain't adapting to that. I'm plotting on moving.
If you was born there, you would adapt to that.
Man, a lot of niggas I know who were born there, boy, them niggas slid first chance they got. You know what I'm talking about? They got from up there. They said, let them Europeans have this madness. That nigga say, our dog ain't even want to go outside and pee.
One day it was so cold in New York. I seen this white man with shorts and flip-flops.
Well, look who you said.
They wear flip-flops.
I was like, what? And I'm in coats and boots and
Derek said the same thing. That be the difference, right? Like when we was in Detroit being in the shade, that jump, boy, down here in that shade, boy. But the language said it's -10 in Kansas City where he's from. Come on, I'm straight. Boy, I'm straight like a heterosexual man, boy. I don't want nothing to do with that. I am good on that. It ain't right. That nigga said he peed in the house and ran back in the building first chance he got. She said, you got to put Vaseline on them dogs, Paul. Them dogs, like, I hate you niggas. Y'all bringing me out here. Who would each talking about I should be up there right now? The devil is a lie. You know what I'm talking about? If I should be up there in that, because, boy, if I'd have checked the weather report and seen that, nigga, I'm canceling my flight. Give me a refund. You know what I'm talking about? But I ain't going up there in that. I'm talking about, nigga, what? Woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what we is, but I know I don't like that. I bump that. What we at, Sid? Bump that. That's too much for me.
Deuteronomy 32 and 40.
32 and 40. Deuteronomy 32. That's too much for me. I know it's freezing. Trad told me about it. He said, man, them people told him if you got stuck in the snow, you would be stuck out there for 4 to 5 hours waiting on the tow. Say, I don't want to live in stuff like that, man. I'm talking about Uber. I don't give a damn who get the car. You know what I'm talking about? I'm going to the house, nigga. But what about the car, nigga? Damn that car. You know what I'm talking about? I'm going home. Come on, man. Deuteronomy 32 and 4.
For I lift up my hands to Shamahim and say, I live forever.
He say he do what?
Live forever.
He say he do what?
Live forever.
There it is. That's all we after. Ooh, that'd be the ugly part. Look at them stairs froze. You walk, man, look here, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, man, we was up there, man. Them niggas ain't it's gloomy. I say, but it's here, man. I see why you niggas killing each other. Nigga, we used to brightness. It can still be cold outside down here. At least it's bright. You out there, nigga, you niggas sad. You know what I'm talking about? You don't come out. At least like this here, we can be like, damn, it's cold out here, but the sun out. It's still, you know what I'm saying? Hit you like this here with shoes. Sun shining though. It's still cold out in the hole, but shoot, at least the sun out. It's the sky blue. You know, it's bright and it's uplifting your mood. You niggas gloomy all day. Ain't got no sunlight. It's just cold. Cold, windy, and niggas ugly. I don't want to do that. Boy, you ain't wipe your butt good, boy?
snow and they can work.
Come on, Job 38.
The lady lived in the apartment, hospital. She was trying to come to work and slipped and fell in the street.
That's unfortunate. Job 38 and 14. I slip and fall, nigga. I'm like this here, boy. I'm gone. I'm like, I'm gone, man. I'm talking about as soon as I get up, like this here. Delta, I need a flight. Well, I don't give a damn. It got to be away from here. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming to the house like the nigga on Harlem Nights. Honey, I ain't coming home. Where you going? The hell away from here. I'm going to my parents' house and I'm cussing them out for birthing me in such a dastardly, wicked place. You cursed me all my life to be in freezing temperatures. I have no mother. I have no father. I depart from you now. And I'm gone. You know what I'm talking about? Well, you in here doing the Cabbage Patch, boy? That's how you dancing. Don't sit your dirty fingers on that white pillow, boy. Your godmama gonna beat your behind. What you looking crazy for? I know what it is.
That's my pillow. That's my watch.
Yeah, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. I know what it is with Jeremiah James Bird. Yeah. Job 38 and 14. It is turned as clay, the seal, and they stand as a garment. And from the wicked, they're like, I'm going to still deal with that part with Eve and the rib too, y'all willing. But do y'all see how you got to be born of the word and that how Yahuwah is not going to provide or extend benefits? Give me Ezekiel 45 and 14 since I mentioned that, and Revelation 21 and 7 behind it. And then give me 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 12. Ezekiel 45 and 14, everybody.
Concerning the ordinance of oil, the bath of oil, the 10th part of a bath out of the core, or omer of 10 baths, or 10 baths, or omer.
But give me 16, because that ain't in the world.
All the people of the land shall give this oblation for the prince and Yasharal. It shall be the prince's part, burnt offerings and meat offerings and drink offerings, in the feasts and in the new moons and in the Shabbats, and all the solemnities of the house of Yasharal. He shall prepare the sin offering and the meat offering and the burnt offering and the peace offering to make reconciliation for the house of Yasharal.
Come on.
Thus saith Yahuwah Elohim.
What he said?
In the first day of the month, you shall take a young bullock without blemish and cleanse the sanctuary. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering and put upon the posts of the house, and upon the four corners of the settle of the altar, and upon the posts of the gate in the inner court. And so shall you do the 7th day of the month for everyone that err, and for him that is simple.
Hold on, we don't want that. He say for him that who?
That err.
That simple, old simple-minded bastard. Tell him what simple is by definition. I think if my memory serves me correctly, is to be open-minded. You don't want to be open-minded.
Simplicity, naivety.
Naivete.
Simple, foolish, open-minded.
Open-minded. I think I got you in the wrong chapter. I do. It's 46 and 16. I told you 45. 46 and 16. Ezekiel 46 and 16.
Thus saith Yahuwah Elohim, if the prince give a gift unto any of his sons,
Give it what?
a gift
To any of his who?
his sons,
Come on.
the inheritance thereof shall be his son.
The inheritance shall be who?
His son.
His who?
His sons.
The prince is Yahushua. That's the chief. That's the ruler. Remember, this is talking about New Jerusalem. This is talking about the kingdom. The prince gives gifts to his sons. Continue.
Their possession by inheritance.
That's right.
But if he give a gift of his inheritance to one of his servants, then it shall be his to the year of liberty. After it shall return to the prince, but his inheritance shall be his sons for them.
Notice that the inheritance be for his son. See, his servant got to give it back, but his sons get to keep it. Revelation 21 and 7. Listen to it. Now, the only thing I will say about cold weather, if fragrances like this work better in it. Them heavy ones, them denser ones, now they work better in it. Or you can really get a true representation of what that fragrance work like. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, some of them work better when it's cold. You know what I'm saying? It's like I can wear this in the summertime, but that heat ain't gonna pull that leather and that rose and stuff out of it like that cold air gonna catch it and swing it around. You know what I'm saying? Because like that interlude 53, that junk ain't made for the heat, boy. That junk ain't made for the heat. That junk already be giving me a headache with 2 sprays. I was talking to somebody about one of them since I got in there, man. I don't even like that whole like that. I don't know, everybody like side effect. It's so great. That junk smelled like cherry NyQuil. Junk give me a headache every time I use it. I hate it. And you think I would like it because it had tobacco in it and a little bit of rum. That junk sucks butthole. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
He that overcomes shall inherit all things.
He that what?
Overcome.
He'll do what?
Inherit all things.
Then we already read in Romans 8 that if you become his son, you'll be an heir, a joint heir. Go ahead.
And I will be his Elohim, and he shall be my son.
That's right. He'll be his what?
His son.
That's all I'm trying to get you to understand. 2 Corinthians 5 and 12 is that you got to be born of the word so you can inherit. So you can be his son. You can be his daughter. So he can give you an inheritance. Because guess what? A daughter get an inheritance too, right? Numbers 37 told you that. Everybody get an inheritance. But you're going to have to be born of the word to get it. You know what I'm saying? Why you think he slid that in the law so smoothly that a daughter could get an inheritance so nobody would be excluded? That everybody can have right to enter into the kingdom of Shamahim and have a lot and portion in it. Don't let none of these wicked dudes tell you that you can't get an inheritance or you can only get it in. Because you got dudes out here who tell women the only way they can get in the kingdom is if they have a husband. Book don't say that. Book don't say that. Don't say that nowhere. But see, like y'all, and I only say this here because, man, shoot, man, there's some lady be telling me some stuff. Hey, man, niggas will counsel you according to getting that coochie. They'll tell you whatever they want to tell you. Because we were talking to a few people, man, and I understand because a lot of them be like, I don't want to be in no congregation. People do this. And you have people who will say the same about us, but, you know, they just pussies. You know what I'm saying? You can roll your eyes all you want, them niggas pussies. You know why they pussies? No. When I said that, they're like, look at the language. No, reason why I say that is because individuals know that they be on some goofy stuff. They be on some sour stuff. And then you think people supposed to co-sign that. And then you come up with some stuff and say, see, them niggas did me like this. Get your goofy behind out of here. You know how we know that? Because niggas don't have the heart to actually approach nobody and say, you did me like this. Ain't nobody did nothing to you. It's just ain't nobody going for the nonsense and folly that you own. You know what I'm talking about? So you got to come up with a reason to justify yourself so you can go out here and be the jackass that you was always born to be. You know what I'm talking about? Like straight up and down, you got some people, they were born to be stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up and down. Book tell you that. Look at, man, you got some women, they were born to be a whore. No matter what they do, no matter how hard they try, the whore in them come out. That's why I be like to let her go and just be the hoe she was born to be. It's nothing that you could do to change that. Baby got an itchy coochie. She ready to give it away. I was telling a few women this the other day, the concept that you know that I've been telling y'all for years, that you can be a whore and not have sex with a lot of men. So when I explained to the lady that a whore is rebellious, disrespectful, disobedient, and rude, she said, well, what do you call a man who's like that? An evil bastard. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not going to be the same type of deal with a man as it would be with a woman. You know what I'm saying? Because a woman ain't supposed to behave like that because she's usually going to behave like that towards a man. She's going to flaunt and disrespect his authority. Now, in the eyesight of Yahuwah, that man would be a whore because you're trying to be a part of his body, i.e. his wife. Yahuwah would see him as a whore, but men will see him, that's an evil man. That's a wicked man. You know what I'm talking about? And where people get the game twisted at is some people just are stupid. They got to do stupid stuff. They have a desire to be swimming and dwelling and reeking of stupidity. And there's nothing that you can do about that. You can't frustrate yourself by that. You always got to watch people who feel the need to talk evil about people who they disconnect from. It's always them. You got to watch the whole nigga that's always talking about everybody he done encountered in life done did him wrong. That nigga's a goofy. You know what I'm talking about? That nigga's been doing stuff he ain't got no business because ain't nobody that unfortunate. Everybody you meet do you wrong, bro? Everybody. Everybody you come across in life has done you. You always the victim. You ever seen House Party? Do you know the part when Fool first came in the spot? When Kid was in there, they say, I smell. You know what they said they smell? Yeah, that's what we smelling too. Woo! You know what they smell, Doris? No, you don't. 50 Cent said the same thing. You know the record? I smell. Is that you, child? Is that you, Ty? I smell it too. Smell like burnt nickels and fish. Oh, boy. Woo! Boy, you ever been on the female end of a correctional facility? You would wish for death. I ain't even being funny. You know what I'm saying? You wish for you talking about a dorm with 50 to 60 plus women in each dorm? The propensity for foul monkeys is high. They can't help it. Get your behind in the shower. You can shower if you in the county. You can shower all day. Now in prison, not so much, but in the county, you can shower all day. Pretty much when they let them out the cells, the showers is on. Oh no, you can't get in the prison.
You should have stayed off a reg. You free to hop in them showers.
Nah, see, DOC is a little different. You know what I'm saying? There's certain like.
Well, they said least still a lot of least. You come on at least 2-3 times a day. So
Yeah, it's certain times they let the showers on, man. Because some of them boys like the, you know what I'm talking about, pull out a 12 gauge, whip out the AK-47. So they just don't get them boys no free reign to get in no shower. If you don't know what that means they end up gunning. And if you still don't know what that means they like to masturbate in front of officers. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you can. Do you think they're criminals? You think a nigga care about that? Nigga already in jail. What you gonna do? Put me in motel? Nigga, I'm already locked up. That's what they call the box. He going to jail. Nigga was like, nigga, I'm already in jail. Nigga say, how you gonna scare a criminal? This nigga in here for 15 years. You think he give a damn about 30 days in a 6x9 cell? That nigga is finna go blind, jacking off, looking at you. See, you'll be the type of CEO, you'll get caught slipping because you'll be around here. What's going on? They always killing Miss Doris. You ain't got no idea what's going on. He laughing because he know. Because it would probably take, you look like the type of CEO, it would take you 6 to 12 months before you realize that them niggas gunning you in the shower. And everybody telling you that them niggas gunning you in the shower, but you would be so oblivious that you not paying attention that these niggas is gunning you. Yes. It's not that some of them are more discreet than others. Some are in the open. Now, I don't know if they still do this, but they had a tactic in DOC where a nigga would tie a string to his penis, to his toe. I'm dead serious. I'm not making this up. And then they would just stand there and tap. So if you happen to see a nigga just standing there tapping his foot, he would gun at you. Oh, you're not supposed to masturbate, but you damn sure ain't supposed to pull out your penis and do it in the sight of a female officer. But you definitely ain't supposed to be masturbating.
I mean, they know they do it. They're doing it. Like
yeah.
In front of the officer.
Yeah, they know you're gonna beat your meat. They might like, hey man, put that thing up. But if you in the shower and you like this here, man, when I was at a particular prison, man, dude had dude's sister worked there. So he came and the white boy was cool. He came, he said, come on, man, y'all guys, man, please don't gun my sister. And dudes was in the back dying laughing because his sister was an eater. She stayed in the glass. Watching, looking, scoping, and she ended up getting fired for having sex with an inmate. You know what I'm saying? Actually got pregnant from the inmate. But yeah, man, you got some women, they love that joint. Then you got some women in there, and they take that as disrespect. Well, you going to the bars. I'm giving you a DR and you gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man. That's a different type of perversion. But I'm saying the reason is because of your demeanor, you'll be oblivious because you ain't thinking about it. Yeah, they would have trained you, they would have told you, be like, oh, those guys aren't gonna do that. And then they do it. You know? Nah. You try to act like you hard. You ain't hard. You ain't hard. You'll probably stand there looking like this. Like you'll be looking like just pure and utter. I can't believe it.
I'm a different person when I work, so.
Oh, so you phony then.
I'm not phony.
So you're a different person when you work. So that means you abuse hips and civic in the field.
No, definitely not.
Oh, so you just beat up hips.
No. No, I'm just saying, like.
Oh, so you demanding. You rude.
No.
Clean up, nigga. That's what you do.
No, I'm not.
See how her eyes got big? That's what she be doing.
I'm not doing that. I just get my work done. That's all.
I just get my work done. And you look at this nigga.
No, I don't.
We know it. Civic done told on y'all already. What she be doing, Civic? She demanding she crack the whip?
No.
Oh, you just
I don't know how she was with Darius, so I can't speak on that.
No, man, call him by his name. His name is Hips.
His name is Darius.
His name is Hips McKippy. You know what I'm talking about? Call that nigga Roly Poly. Shoot, I don't gotta know that nigga to get that nigga can get these jokes. Please don't drop your cousin, cuz. Come on, man, where you at?
2 Corinthians 5 and 12.
2 Corinthians 5 and 12.
For we commend not ourselves again unto you, but give you occasion to esteem on our behalf.
That's
that you
right.
May be somewhat to answer them which esteem in appearance and not in heart.
And not in esteem and appearance and not in heart.
For whether we be beside ourselves, Talahim, or whether we be sober, for
Mhm.
your cause, for the love of Hamashiach, constrain us, because we thus judge that if one died for all, then we're all dead.
If you love Hamashiach, it will restrain you from committing sin. Go ahead.
And he died for all, that they which live should not henceforth live unto themselves,
But live to who?
unto him which died for them and rose again.
That's right.
Wherefore henceforth know we no man after the flesh. Yea, though we have known Hamashiach after the flesh, yet now henceforth we know him no more.
Know him no more.
Therefore, if any man be in Mashiach,
He be what?
a new creature.
He be a who?
A new creature.
He be a who?
A new creature.
Come on.
Old things are passed away.
Old things are what?
Passed away.
Old things are what?
Passed away.
Okay, praise
Behold,
God.
all things are become new.
They become new.
And all things of Elohim, who have reconciled us to himself by Yahushua HaMashiach, and have given to us the ministry of reconciliation.
That's good. You see how he say all things have become what? New. You got to be born again for him to be his seed, to be his child. He's not taking care of another man's child, meaning insert your father's name. He's not taking care of his children. That's what I meant when I asked, would he take care of another man's child? Because he's not going to do it. You're going to have to become his child. Because if you're another man's child, what are you? You're flesh. You're not ruach. So you would need to be born of the word. He's not taking care of fleshly children. And if you heard that and you still got from God do take care of kids that not his, I need you to get up. I need you to walk to your mayor's bathroom, preferably the master. I need you to cut the lights off and stand in the mirror and say Candyman 3 times. And then when you cut the light on, you ain't gonna see nobody but the idiot looking back in the mirror and slap yourself. You know what I'm talking about? Because ain't nobody coming out with you saying Candyman. I promise you ain't nobody coming in there. Now you know it'd be funny if son jumped out of the mirror and said, ha ha, you stupid nigga, and slapped you himself. Look at her. It ain't real. She's scared. I ain't gonna go in there and say, Candyman, what if he come out and cut me? He said he got flies coming in. You know Candyman ain't nobody but ball. What you scared of ball for if you got the Lord? I'm calling, come on, Candyman, nigga. I'm gonna look at him. The power of Christ compels you. Come on around here. Come on to Job for this. All jokes aside, though, Candyman was representative of Beelzebub. Because he had them fly. He was the Lord of the Flies. He was Beelzebub. No, drop down because we was in 31 the other day. I said I'll come back if y'all willing. Oh, y'all ain't never pay attention to that? You know, they be repping their gods in these movies now. They scared of no damn Beelzebub. Boy, you capped out. Boy, I'm talking about Cappy. Oh, that boy temper tantrum these days of your life. That's the first time I ever seen him do such a thing. I ain't never know not the flop. I ain't never caught him do the flop. We tried the whole back. Yeah, we talking about you.
He was capping.
He looking at Sylvia like I'm the one talking about you. I didn't know you behaved in such a fashion. How long you been like this? I thought you was a sweet boy. Oh no, not my baby. Harlem in here flopping. Give Joanne about 30 days, she probably be flopping. Cause she already be catching attitude. You know what I'm talking about? She done stop hitting because she had a period where she would hit deep. Like straight up, like boom, tighten up. No, not you hitting him. The baby be hitting deep.
Yeah, he gonna hit my
I mean, you ain't gave him a good old pop.
Oh, I do.
Not enough popping enough where he respected.
He don't do it no more. He has to.
Oh, you somebody he popped me. You said it like he was still doing it. Oh no, you said it and she said it like he was still doing it. That's why I said that. You said it like he's still doing it. Hey, bro, what you bring your heart for? That boy testing boundaries. Let me see what I can get away with. You got hit with slap you back. How they be stunned? Like you really did that? Yeah, Lil Muffin at the point was shoot. She need to get slapped in the mouth like Trina slapped D. I told her that earlier. She said, yeah, Lil Muffin like to throw a hand up. Lil Muffin rude. Disrespectful. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Bah, pimp hand. I can hit you with the pimp hand. Backhand. Yeah, that stuff with the little girls, you let Mom Duke pop them in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? Because if Pop's got to pop you in the mouth, that means you definitely overextended. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if your daddy got to pop the daughter in the mouth, she done went somewhere else with it. You know what I'm saying? But Mom Dukes, you know, sometimes she know how to get it. Your mama ever used to slap you in the mouth? Y'all from New York, y'all don't do that type of stuff. That's a Southern thing. Y'all New York niggas. No, she's being disrespectful. Niggas in the South slap their daughter dead in the mouth. Bah! Yeah, but I don't know if y'all mouth poppers though. I ain't talking about a slap. We talking about the pop in the mouth. No, see. No. We ain't talking about the slap. In the South, nigga. See, you don't get disrespectful. Mom Dukes like you think it's cool, then she walk right. Bah! So you really just catch like 4 fingers right in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? Just it's for a quick steam. Bow! Watch your mouth, heifer. You know what I'm saying? No, that's what I'm telling you. I don't do that up there. In the South, pop you dead in your mouth. Slapping, that's disrespectful. Who slapped you? No, cause I said that for a reason, cause I wouldn't think a daddy would slap his daughter. That's a setup for something else. Mom Duke slapping you cause she mad with life. You slapping that girl for. See, if I come in there, one thing you pop in the mouth. Well, if I kept my wife slapping my daughter in the mouth, man, I'm finna slap her. I don't care what she called her. Don't slap my child in the mouth. What's wrong with you, man? You know what I'm saying? Popping in the mouth, one thing. Don't slap it. That's disrespect. A slap is a sign of disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know that you just told this child, I don't respect you. Bah! No, man. No, don't slap my baby, man. He said that was my mama's move. Worst part, she do me as she played the organ on Sunday mornings. Don't miss a note neither. See there, that's classic. Mom do, bah, watch your mouth. That's perfected mama school right there, man. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Y'all, Easter said that. You know what I'm saying? See, y'all new age mamas, y'all ain't perfected it. See, Lee look like she know about that. She look like, you know what I'm saying, Malia and Madeline gonna be in for quick. Ain't nobody even see it. See, the good ones, they so quick with it, nobody around. It could have been people sitting right there looking and didn't see it. That's the good ones. It's so swift. Pop. Trina, D just said that's Trina. You know what I'm saying? Trina, she looked like in her prime, boy, she just catch D with a quick one. Pop. You know what I'm saying? That's perfection right there. That's a mama. You know what I'm saying? Who know you little rude bastard? You know what I'm saying? She give you the look, and you don't go for the look, you get the pop in the mouth.
I didn't see it coming. We were eating.
That's what D just said.
The children in Africa starved. And I said, we can pack it up and send it to them. And before I knew it, boom.
That's what D just said. Real quick, you don't even see it coming. That's perfection. Yeah, that's what you want. It's the shot. You better stop playing with me. See the slap? That's disrespect. Nah, don't slap them children, man. Don't slap your kids in the face, man. Real talk, I ain't even being funny. Don't slap them children in the face, man. That's disrespect. You know what I'm saying? And don't think that your child don't know that that's disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Because you really just fundamentally told your child, I do not respect you. You slap hoes. That's what pimps do. You don't slap your child, man. You know what I'm saying? Not in the face. Slap them upside the back of the head. You know what I'm saying? Slap them. You know what I'm saying? Don't slap them in the face, man. Have some respect for them. Because if somebody, it's two things you should never do to a man. Slap him and spit on him. That's disrespect. You just told him, when you walk up to a man and you slap him in the face, you just told him, I don't respect you as a man. Now, see, that's different. Your mama was tired of your crap. Brother Marvin say, my mama hit me in the face with a pot when she was 11. Now, that's abuse, but also that's what? Nigga, stop playing with me.
Not opinion.
Not opinion. He said he ain't see it coming. He said a pot. He said a pot. Because see, 9 times out of 10, she didn't swing the pot. She threw the pot. See, that's different. You don't swing a pot. You throw a pot. You understand? So you got to understand something. He probably from the South. You being in the house cutting up, mom, dudes like this. Oh, I got something for this nigga. Wow. Bam. You got hit. What's going on? Yeah. Oh no, he said she swung it. She was trying to hit you. She was wrong. Yeah, she was wrong. She ain't supposed to swing the pot at you, man. You know what I'm talking about? Throw the pot one thing, swing the pot's another. She said you use the handle. I already visualized it. She didn't have to do that. Oh my goodness! Come on, man. I ain't got you holding nothing to it. Come on back over here to Job 38. I ain't fooling with y'all. Lord have mercy. Job 38 and 28. That ain't right. Don't hit the babies with no pot like that. Throw it at them. Don't swing it at them. Oh, Crystal say a Reynolds foil box in my mouth real quick. You know what I'm talking about? See, that's pop. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to pop them children in the mouth, man. Let them know, stop playing with me. But don't slap them, though. Please don't swing and hit them with no pot. Don't be like, well, I'm going to hit him with this frying pan. Don't hit him with that neither. I ain't throwing nothing. I'm going to throw my foot right in your behind. Bah! Get out of my house. You little niglet. Then we'll tell you to come in the house, get you some spaghetti, and go to sleep. I hate it here. Well, leave then. Nobody wants you here anyway. You eat up all my food. You wake up from your nap and smell food. You waste all my toilet paper.
I was so stubborn. I wouldn't even eat. You don't even come down and eat.
Oh, you just be mad. I hate all of you.
Yeah, I just wait till the morning to give you a bowl of cereal. I ain't coming down for this.
Oh, you tripping? Nah, that nigga was up there. She was upset. That means they beat her good. They beat her good. When they don't want to come down and get nothing to eat, they beat you good. You up that stomach like this here. What you want to do, brother? You know what I'm talking about? Bump that jump. Boy, I'm coming downstairs.
You are.
You know my stomach. See, you know what I'm saying? Nobody want to hear all that. Your stomach in there talking about, talking about Hogan, brother. What you want to do? When hungry, one growled on you, brother. That's what you want to do. That nigga not hungry. Bump that jump, boy. I'm going to get me something to eat. Nah, it's a black. Hey, Job 38 and 28. Bump that jump. Boy, I'm going to get eat. Boy, it's a lot of things I'm finna be. I ain't finna be hungry on purpose. Because I've been hungry and I ain't had not on purpose. I'm going to get something to eat. You ain't beat me that bad. And I'm gonna be eyeballing you the whole time I'm eating. I hate you, nigga. I hope you die. That's where you be when you about 7, 8 years old. They done beat you. You be mad. You be wishing all type of stuff. Oh, I hope your car crashes. I hate you. Job 38 and 28. He said, have the rain of Father who have begotten the drops of dew. Come on and give me rain and Father, man. Well, we know Father. You can just give me rain. You ain't got
rain. It's matar. That is literal rain.
We talked about that the other day. Matar, what you got for me? Mean, Tet, Raj. That's what you got, or you can't tell.
That's what we're gonna roll.
I mean, he couldn't tell y'all, and that's okay. I mentioned this Wednesday, so yeah, that's what we got. Meme, Tet, and Rosh. So if we got Meme, Tet, and Rosh, of course we got Meme. So we have water. So we're gonna look at Ruach. We got Tet for contain. You got Rosh. You are filled and contained with the Ruach of the highest. So of course, verse 26 before that calls it to rain. Oh, that's right. We were talking about the water course. We got to back up to 25. I didn't get the water course. Who have divided a water course from the overflowing of waters or a way for the lightning of thunder. Let's go back and look at that Hebrew word for water course again, because we had to talk about the waters of the firmament. Praise you, Lord. So what is water course? It's te'alah, a conduit, a water course, a trench, also healing of new flesh, skin forming over a wound. We have tau, we have ayin, we have lamah, and we have hay. So if we're coming in off top with tau, we know we're dealing with a mark or a covenant. We got ayin, and we will look at we have experienced the covenant. We have lamah, so therefore we have the shepherd. So we have hey, so we're going to look at behold. Behold and experience the covenant of the shepherd. Well, how can we behold and experience the covenant of the shepherd? We need to take a look at something in Hebrews 11 if we would. As beginning with what of Genesis 1, because I remember that because we was all discombobulated on Wednesday, but praise be to Yahuwah, we all good. In regards to the technical difficulty. I definitely think it's just what you said too, brother, using Chrome and Firefox. This thing ain't even had a single solitary unstable notice or nothing. You know what I'm talking about? Because after we were looking at it, when you mentioned that Wednesday, that CPU was jumping.
I downloaded a new Firefox. You can try it.
Shoot, I'm gonna go ahead and rock with what we got. We ain't had no problem. He just be on standby. Maybe that other Firefox had doggone what you call it, a virus in it. He was infected. You don't never know, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about this type of stuff. I just cut it on and go. Yeah, I seen it. Shoot, I appreciate it. That's what it was. 2 Peter 3 that had what I wanted. I'm sorry. 2 Peter 3, verse 4. And saying, where's the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as from the beginning of creation. For this they are willingly ignorant of, that by the word of Elohim, the Shamahim were of old, and the earth standing out of water and in the water. The world, whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water perished. Notice that he said that the earth was standing out of water and in water. So let's go back to Genesis chapter 1 to validate that. Genesis 1 and 6. Elohim said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Elohim made the firmament and divided the waters which under the firmament from the waters which above the firmament, and it was so. Elohim called the firmament Shamahim, and the second evening and the morning were the second day. Elohim said, let the waters under Shamahim be gathered together into place, and let the dry appear, and it was so. Elohim called the dry Eretz, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas, and Elohim saw good. So, and then of course, in the midst of that same earth, what does it read? Elohim said, let the earth bring forth grass, a herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after its kind, whose seed in itself upon the earth, and it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, herb yielding seed. And somebody done shot at the Mall of America. After his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself. After his kind, and Elohim saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day. Notice again that thing with the seed in itself and the seed being after its kind. Give me kind in Hebrew by definition, good sir, for the people. You see this here? It's an undisputed championship right here, man. Y'all, well, I'm gonna buy me a belt, and I'm gonna preach every time with that belt on my shoulder.
Khan, that's a mean. Khan, that is sometimes a species.
So the reason that every seed is going to be after his species. So again, I'm just reiterating the point that you have to be born of the seed of Elohim. You have to be after his kind. That's what Paul was talking about when he said you have different types of flesh. You have celestial and terrestrial. You have to be born of the Ruach. That is mandatory. That's not up for debate. That's not maybe. That's not if. You must be born of the Ruach, and that is being born of the word, born by word, born by the promise. No one will become a son of Elohim who don't believe the word. See, we were talking to a brother about this yesterday on Clubhouse, man, and he was like, show me where it say you got to believe in Jesus. He just steady harping on that. The law say all righteousness if we keep the law. All right, bro, keep the law and don't believe the word and see what happens. Because just like I told him, right, the book say the just gonna live by their what? So they're gonna live by their faith. So you're gonna live according to the faithfulness and reliability of said word. So because you have respect to the recompense of a reward, of course you're gonna keep his law. That's a given. I tell you this here, you'll never see a faithful man who don't keep the law, but you can see somebody who will keep the law and not be a faithful man. And to some people that might sound oxymoronic, but it ain't. Because we know that we got examples of books in the Chronicles of the King who kept the law, but not with a perfect what? And when their faith was tested, what did they do? They turned their back on Yahuwah. Yahuwah himself said in Deuteronomy 32, these are children in whom have no faith. See, a lot of brothers want to get away from it because they thinking that you negating the law in the process. Come on, man, as I've said numerous times before, we're all men. You know what I'm saying? So men have structure and order. That's a given. But that don't mean that you trust in the reliability of Yahuwah's word. See, this is the thing that the law won't do. The law won't help you in a situation where you'll be incarcerated for the word and you'll go to jail and stand praising Yahuwah's name in the midst of that tribulation. The law won't help you do that. Only your faith will help you do that. The law will not allow you to be stoned and then get up rejoicing that you were counted worthy to suffer for his name. Only faith will allow you to do that. The law will not allow you to allow people to beat you and impale you on a tree. Only your hope and the promise of Yahuwah can produce that. The law can't produce that for you. It is simply the knowledge of good and evil. It can't produce that in your heart. Because when David took down Goliath, there was no law. He said, who is this uncircumcised Philistine that defied the armies of the living Elohim? He said, Yahuwah delivered me out the mouth of a bear and out the paw of a lion. And he said, and this uncircumcised Philistine dying today. And all them people out there were scared of this man, except for this one man, one young man, I should say, whose overwhelming faith in Yahuwah did not allow him to be fearful of this giant. You know what I'm talking about? That's as simple as that. But see, we don't want to hear that because you're so worried about being called a Christian. Stop worrying about what these goofy cornball niggas say. Because all these niggas who want to scream about how they keep the law, they not keeping it. They steady talking about they sin. How you gonna tell me to do something that you ain't doing? How you gonna tell me we got to be righteous and keep the law? Where's the example if everybody's sinning? And you think people gonna take that seriously? They're not. Would you take that seriously? I told you, I tell y'all this story all the time. When we was in there with the brother, man, and he was telling this Christian lady, he said, I ain't by no means perfect. Like, don't get me wrong. He just spent like 30, 35 minutes trying to explain Acts 10 to her, why we shouldn't be eating no pork, about that vision that Peter had. And in the midst of that conversation, and my homeboy Fat Boy was with me. And Nell was with me too. I don't know if Lil Muffin was in there. I think Lil Muffin was in there. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, he said, I ain't perfect. And that woman looked him dead in the face and say, so you don't keep the law then? Man, Fat Boy looked at me, man. I knew he finna start laughing because when he started laughing, I'm gonna start laughing. And we both in there laughing because she exposed you. Because you spent all that time talking to her about how she got to keep the law, and then in the same breath told her that you weren't perfect. And she called you on that. Because she said, well, okay, then that means you don't even keep the law you telling me to keep. People don't take that seriously, bro. And you thinking that, oh, these people don't want the truth. They looking at you like you a goofy. You don't fear your God, so why should I? You don't respect him. Do you think your friends would come in the house and respect your father if you was in the house disrespecting him? They not. So if you don't obey him, why would they respect him when you say this your God who you scared of, who can send people to hell? Why you think so many brews, like I said, and don't get me wrong, because his mercy endures forever and his mercy needs to be expounded. That's why we preach the gospel. That's what the whole time period we were talking about being born again, that he not going to take care of another man's seed. That was his mercy because he giving you an opportunity to be born of his seed. You know what I'm saying? This is an opportunity that your forefathers didn't have. They didn't have an opportunity to be born in seed. But we do. That's a blessing. You know what I'm talking about? Why you think we always want to talk about, we do the same thing that we ridicule Christians for. He merciful. He know we gonna stumble. Nah, bro, you dudes don't want to be who you claiming to be. You want to revel in your flesh. But one thing about it, if the just live by their faith, man, let me tell y'all something real, man. We talk about this all the time. Let Yahuwah be esteemed, right? We cannot envision in our mind what it looks like to be in a city that got streets made out of pure gold, out of transparent glass, that look like transparent glass. You can't even envision. We were talking about this the other day, right? We have no idea. They were talking about God ain't a color, and this, that, and the third. I say, you know what? What you really saying is what's in 1 John chapter 3, verse 1. He said, what manner of the love have the Father bestowed upon us that we should be called the sons of Elohim? And he say, and though we know not how we shall appear, he say, but when we see him, we shall know him because we'll see him as he is. We have no idea what this man gonna look like in that esteemed state. We don't know what we gonna look like, but we gonna know God when we see him. Do you know what I'm talking about? You can't encapsulate that in your mind. I'm talking about the resurrection of the dead, you understand? We're talking about the blessing of being called a son of Elohim. You can't encapsulate that in your mind. So when you believe the word because of that, and you have such a great respect for the reward, sin is not an option for you. And when I say it's not an option, it's something that you begin to not desire. Because you desire his promise greater than the desires of your flesh. And this is how the righteous live by their amah or amuna. That's how that happens. This is what a lot of brothers don't understand. That's how that happens, my nigga. But you don't have a respect for the reward because you don't believe the book. So you think your justification going to be how much law you keeping. They're going to be just like Job. Job kept all that law, didn't he? And then Yahuwah straightened him because he said, but you didn't esteem me, son. You trusted in your own righteousness instead of trusting in me because you were trying to validate yourself in the eyesight of sinners instead of letting me do it. Ain't that what he told him? Ain't the book say Job was righteous in his own eyes? He had a right to be righteous in his own eyes. That man wasn't sinning. But because his heart was getting tested, it was showing you that by no flesh, they say that by the law, by no flesh will be justified in the eyesight of Elohim. That's what you're supposed to learn from the book of Job. Job wasn't justified because of his obedience to the law. He ended up being justified because he believed in Yahuwah. And what did he tell him? He said, I heard of you with the ear, and now my eyes see. Because faith come by hearing, and hearing come by the word. And you'll open my eyes, and I might behold wondrous things out of your law. See, praise be to you. That's where that come in at. Of course, we going to live set apart, man. We ain't going to be out here doing what these people doing. Because at the end of the day, when we talk about the law, the only things niggas talking about is pork chops and Sabbaths. That's all niggas talk about. Ain't nobody talking about, man, don't be around here slandering people. Meaning be a talebearer. Don't be going around here lying on people. You understand what I'm telling you? Don't be going around here lusting in your heart after evil things. Don't be around here murmuring and complaining against Yahuwah. Don't be around here defrauding your neighbor. We don't want to talk about none of that stuff like that. The same token when we were talking about, okay, women say, you should be a father to the father. We already talked about that. Man, your son ain't no orphan. But if we all interconnected as a body, then the individuals of the body, if the daddy's not present, the men in the body going to look out for your son. Don't nobody got to be married to you for that. But you can't control your loins. That's what you want a husband for. Because you don't really love Yahuwah. You looking to get what you could get from Yahuwah. See, that's a different ball game. Because I told a sister this other day, there's no individuality in the word. There's no individuality. You have your individual personality, but he said, I'll give them one heart and one way that they should know me. It's one faith. It's one immersion. It's one Elohim who's in all through you all. Everybody's supposed to be interconnected, not individuals. Not it's about me and mine. It's supposed to be about us and we. You know what I'm talking about? That's what it's supposed to be. Ain't supposed to be me and my family good. That's an evil type of mindset. Because you separating yourself from your brother. You already know what Job 41 say. His scales are his pride. They stick what? Close together. Can't no air get in between. Why you think Satan able to get into everything we got going on? Because niggas too separated. Niggas individuals. They're not one. That's why he said a card, that's one. We were talking the other night, right? Later, like, oh yeah, I can't do that pass in the cup. Backward. I say, man, the reason why they drunk out the same cup was for oneness. You can't, how you gonna have communion if everybody got a different cup? That means everybody's separate. It's not a body, it's a bunch of individuals. That's the point of having that one piece of bread and everybody breaking off the bread. You're supposed to understand that we're one. Not a group of individuals, we're one. That's the purpose of everybody drinking out the same cup, eating off the same plate. We're one. We're not it's not 30 people in here with a cup. That's 30 separate individuals. That's not how a body works. A body's not separate from one another. If the piece is cut off from the body, then that means it's dead. If I cut your arm off and I don't attach your arm back to your body, your arm is going to die. You know what I'm saying? And it can never be useful on your body ever again. We are never supposed to be severed and separated from each other. We're supposed to be one. That man said perfect in one. Ain't that what he prayed for? Give it to him, John 17:20. That's what he prayed for. But we don't have that type of mind because we're too individualistic. That is not the way of the Yahudim. That is not the way of Yahusha. That is not the gospel. That is not what Yahuwah intended.
That's what you were just talking about in Genesis.
Yes, sir.
Bring all the water into one place.
Into one place. Amen. Bring all those seeds into one place. Everything into one. It's never separation. It's always oneness. Go ahead, man.
Neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me.
That's right.
Word, that they all may be one.
That they all may be what?
One.
That they may be what?
One.
Come on with it.
As you, Father, in me, and I in you, that they also may be one in us.
That they might be one in who?
In us.
That's right.
That the world may believe that you have sent me. In the esteem which you gave me, I have given them, that they may be one, even as we are one.
And that's a card. They may be one, even as we are one. Because what does your law say? Yahuwah, your Elohim is what? One. Go ahead.
I in them and you and me, that they may be made perfect in one.
Perfect in what?
In one.
In two.
In one.
In seven.
In one.
In 25.
In one.
Praise God.
That the world may know that you have sent me and have loved them as you have loved me.
Mm-hmm.
Father, I will they also whom you have given me be with me where I am. They may behold my esteem which you have given me.
That's good. And Drew just said that made him think about the Tower of Babel. Because what were all the people? They were what? One. They were one. He's always wanted to be one. No separation. No divisions. Everybody one from another. That's why Paul wrote, let everybody have the same mind with the same judgment, speaking the same things. We're supposed to be one. We ain't supposed to be, look here, man. See, you got a lot of people, they be like, oh, we won't be on one accord till Mashiach came back. That's not what the Lord said. He didn't tell you that. See, that's an excuse for us to sit around and being separated and arguing with each other instead of seeking to be one with one another. See, you know why you can be, how you can become one with somebody? It takes something. You know what that is? You got to love them. You can't become one with somebody you don't love. And if you don't love Yahuwah, how you going to love your neighbor? Remember what the Lord said, man? That man said, man, when did we see you naked and hungry? He said, when you seen the least of these, my brethren, you did it to me. See, I told you that plenty of times before. A lot of brothers, when they step out the door, man, they don't see Mashiach in their brother. They just see a man. They don't see him in them. And they don't realize everything they doing it to Mashiach, and he going to make them pay for that. Because you ain't had love for your neighbor. You ain't had love for your brother. Which means you ain't going to lay your life down for your brother. You ain't going to do it. You're going to be just like Cain. Am I my brother's keeper? Am I supposed to guard and protect my brother? Yes, ho nigga. That's what you're supposed to do. Ain't that what the Lord did? He laid his life down. We couldn't even be considered to be his brother because remember what we read in Chronicles? He said, man, how you love those that hate Yahuwah and help the ungodly. He said, while we were yet without strength, Hamashiach died for us while we were sinners. Man, we were this man's enemy and he laid his life down. That's what he did. We were saying, people were asking about it. They say, you think God love is conditional? Mercy is conditional. See, this is where people get the game twisted at. Him sacrificing himself is not an example of unconditional love. It's an example of who he is as an Elohim. It's not an example of unconditional love. It's representative of his character. It's representative of his greatness. It's representative of the fact that I'm going to offer you forgiveness so you can respect me, so you can fear me, to know that I'm a God where I ought to kill you, that I will extend grace to you so you can give me the respect you should have gave me the first time. You know what I'm talking about? Not that. What did John the Baptist say to the people when they came around that corner? He said, you better bring forth fruits meet for repentance. Show me the product of you shubing. Show me the evidence of that. You know what I'm talking about? I need to see the proof. Where's the proof of the change? Don't talk my head off. Show it to me. What did Mashiach tell you? A tree will be known by his what? We be listening to niggas talk. You ain't paying attention. The produce of your actions is going to show who you are. And you steady got people, you don't know who a God and who ain't. The hell you say? How we sit here and say we don't know who a God or not, and the Lord literally told you how to tell. Did he not say a tree is known by its fruit, that a corrupt tree can't bring what? And a good tree can't do what? So a tree is known by what? So how you don't know? I know how you don't know, because you're stupid. Just like what we read in what the definition of simple is, right? You're naive. But I also know the underlying reason why you don't know, because you doing the same stuff he doing. So you don't want to know, you don't want to proclaim it, because in proclaiming it, you'll condemn yourself. So you'd rather say, I can't tell. See, you just like them wicked people when the Lord say John the Baptist. He said, I'll answer your question if you answer me this. John the Baptist, was his emerging from heaven or of men? If we say of heaven, he going to say why you didn't believe him. If we say of men, the people going to stone us because they hold him as a prophet. We can't tell. And he said, won't get in the kingdom of heaven. He said, the publicans and harlots will get in before you, because John came by the way of righteousness and they believed him and you rejected him. So when you tell me you can't tell, you just told me you don't believe the word. That's what you just told me. Because you should be able to tell. How you been in the word you can't tell who a God? You don't know who going to hell or not. The lies you tell. The lies you tell. And he got a whole parable of the sower telling you how to tell. Come on, man. We can't even be that simple, bro. We can't even be that simple. You mean to tell me you can't discern? The man literally wrote and said, hey, man, he that is an Elohim hears Elohim's words. The man literally said, he that is born of Elohim don't commit sin. He can't sin. The word in it. He said, he that commits sin is of the devil. And you mean to tell me we can't tell? That man said, if the Son shall set you free, you shall be free indeed. But you are your father the devil, because the lust of your father you will do. We know what the lust of Satan is. It's the appetites of his belly. So if you move by the appetites of your belly, that's your daddy. But you can't tell. Man, come on, man. We supposed to be men. And you wonder why these women don't want to listen to you. And you wonder why these women don't want to submit to you. Man, we were talking about that earlier, man. Misha had a room. She just wanted to chill this morning, man. And yes, last night, you know, they had that Yaju dummy nigga in their room, man. This old goofy, wicked, know I'm talking about, just disrespectful bastard. I hope the Lord kill him on the, I'm talking about in 15 minutes, wake him up and kill his wicked behind again. And if anybody got a problem with what I said, I don't care if you got a problem with it. This pussy nigga said the Lord didn't come to the flesh. That means he not a God. I'm not talking up for this nigga. I'm not saying nothing for this nigga. This nigga on the devil, may he be damned. That's what the book say. If you come bring another gospel that we done preach, let him be accursed. I ain't standing up for this nigga. This man said your Redeemer is not going to stand on the earth on the last day and resurrect you from the dead. Man, you can't stand for that. You can't co-sign that. And you know what problem with dudes is? They won't take a stand. Well, I told the nigga when I asked him that. I asked him twice. I said, you saying the Lord ain't coming to flesh? I said, may you burn in hell. I ain't gonna be like this here. Nah, brother, you know, we gotta try to wake that brother up. I ain't proving nothing wrong. May that nigga perish. And I'll tell his pussy behind that every time I see him. And anybody who's following. And the problem is men, we don't want to take no stand. Be a man and take a stand and stop worrying about being liked and loved and worry about being loved in heaven. Stop worrying about if people gonna talk bad about you. Stop worrying about if these dudes gonna accept you. You better stand for the Lord, my nigga. Because it's going to come a time where you're going to have to stand for that man. What you going to do? That man say, blessed are those who are not offended in me. Ain't that what the book say? That man say, if you deny me before men, I'm going to deny you before my Father in heaven and his Malachim.
He said, don't fear him who could kill the body. Fear him who could kill the body and cast you into hell. But you better stand for Yahuwah, not man. You better start worrying about these niggas' feelings. Man, bump these niggas' feelings, man. Care nothing about these whole niggas, man. That nigga piss me off every time I see him, and I'm gonna make his life a living hell every time I catch it. Because that nigga ought to burn in hell and anybody who listen to him. Straight up and down. And y'all niggas need to stop trying to cater and count out of these niggas, man. Trying to be niggas' friends. Paul said, man, if I be a servant of men, I would not be a servant of God. I'm not here to please men. I'm here to please God. That's what Peter told them men. We felt to fear Elohim rather than man. But y'all worry about being people friends. I told you once, I told you twice. I don't perform fellatio and I don't toss salads. I'm a man, and I want men riding with me. And if you ain't no man, you can get around me, man. Because you think the Lord gonna let somebody talk? You think the Lord ain't gonna ride? You think the Lord was gonna sit there and let somebody talk bad about his father? You know how many times he straightened these men about that? You think he was walking around, I don't want to hurt their feelings. Remember when Peter them say, the Pharisees was offended at what you said. That man didn't care. Care nothing about them being offended. Man, what you guys say? Yeah. So when you look at the waters coming out of the waters, right, with the water course, man, let Yahuwah be esteemed. You know what I'm talking about? You know, I thank the Lord, man. Do you understand? What would we be without him? Hold on, bro. Let me finish what we got going on, bro. I got you. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you look at the waters coming out of the waters, right? You're looking at the separation between heaven and earth. So when we coming back to this water course, right? We come back to this water course. What verse I'm in, man? Boom, boom. So who divided a water course for the overflow or a trench, right? A separation of heaven and earth. A separation between ruach and flesh. Let's continue. So, or the way of the lightning of a thunder to cause rain on the earth, no man. The wilderness, no man. To satisfy the desolate and waste and to cause the bud of the tender herb to spring forth. Some of y'all may remember, right, in 2 Kings 19 and 29, where it says you got to take root downward to bring fruit upward. See the same thing with the tender herb that you looked at in Genesis. To bring forth the fruit, where you need water of the ruach to bring forth fruit to water the seed. So where we at? Boom, boom, boom. He said, have the rain of Father who have begotten the drops of the dew. Well, dew, of course, you know, is tall, night mist, tet, and mud. You feel with the teaching of the shepherd. You got begotten. What do you have? Of course, you know, that's your Lord. That's the bear to bring forth. Who brought forth the dew? Yahushua brought forth the dew. You know, see, this is what the numbers about. Buckets and all that there. But I ain't got enough time for this evening. But God willing, y'all willing, we'll do it tomorrow. And we still got to talk about Pleiades and all that there. But let our Father in heaven, by way of Yahushua and Mashiach, be esteemed, man. Hallelujah for Yahushua. We don't start right here. All right, bro. I got you, bro. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Let me hit y'all off with that, what they were talking about with that. I appreciate that, sis. Go ahead, bro. I got something else I need to hit them off with before we get off here. Come over here to Genesis chapter 2, y'all. Praise Yahuwah, man. I appreciate that, sis. Come over here to Genesis chapter 2, man. Praise Yahuwah, brother Marvin. Let's look at Genesis chapter 2, man, verse 21. Yahuwah Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof, and the rib which Yahuwah Elohim had taken from the man made he a woman and brought her unto the man. So a lot of brothers, they were not a lot, but they were talking about that they believed that this was speaking of evolution. It was not. But as I told them, I could see why they would come to the conclusion. Well, not what we about to read right now, but why they would come to that conclusion. I mean, you would have to hear them explain it. See, sometimes, right, you can't sit back and look at it, man, them niggas stupid for believing that. Sometimes, like, when you hear somebody explain something, okay, I can see why you got there. It's not that I agree with you, but I can see how, because everybody, you got to understand, everybody ain't heard what y'all done heard. Everybody don't know what y'all know. You know what I'm saying? So you have to remember that. Some people, they reading the text, they trying to figure out what it means, and they think about certain stuff, and they like, yeah, that's what that sounds like. You know what I'm saying? They're looking at it like, okay, as the sister explained, she's looking at, okay, Adam made of the dust, like, and it's like Eve was a mutation of him. I said, and I can see how you would arrive to that. I say, you just are not factoring in Yahuwah, who was involved in both of those processes. You know what I'm saying? But this brother was mentioning the definition of this word, rib, and he took one of the definitions and he made it to be more than what it actually is saying. The Hebrew word for rib is selah, Sad, Lamah, and Ain. So we have experienced the way of the shepherd, or we experienced the way of the teaching, or the teaching of Kadash, if you would. And that word selah means side, rib, beam, rib of man, rib of a hill or ridge, side chamber or cells of temple structure, rib, plank, board, leaves, side. So when he seen cells, he took that to be meaning molecular cells. But it clearly says that it's cells of a temple structure. So this is the side of the door. You know what I'm talking about? Now, of course, we know what's in the side of a sacrifice. The kidneys. And the kidneys, by definition in Hebrew, it describes that that's the best part. So Eve is taken out of the best part of man. So then we know with Mashiach, what did he say in John chapter 2? Get it for him, Sid. 2 and what? 17. What you trying to get, Jeremiah? James? Bird. They took a cupcake home for you, Bird. They were thinking about you. But it could have been eaten by your mother or your father. Because maybe you just like your mother. You're never satisfied. Maybe you're just like your father. I don't know the rest of that line.
I'm trying to get into
John chapter 2, verse 17.
And his disciples remembered that it was written, the zeal of your house have eaten me up.
Mm-hmm.
Then answered the Yahudim and said unto him, what sign show you unto us, saying that you do these things?
What sign you show me that you do these things?
Yahushua answered and said unto them,
what he said to
destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up.
Do what?
Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up.
Praise you.
Then said the Yahudim, 46 years was this temple in the building, and will you rear it up in 3 days?
Mm-hmm.
But he spake of the temple of his body.
He spake of the temple of his what?
Of his body.
Of his what?
Of his body.
John 19 and 30.
When Yahushua therefore had received the vinegar, he said, it is finished. And he bowed his head and gave up the ruach.
That's right.
The Yahudim therefore, because it was a preparation, that the body should not remain upon the cross on the Shabbat day.
That's right.
For that Shabbat day was a high day.
It was a high Shabbat.
He sought Pilate that their legs might be broken.
Break them.
And they might be taken away. Then came the soldiers and brake the legs of the first and of the others which was crucified with him.
That's right.
So when they came to Yahushua,
see, he was what?
Dead already.
They didn't break his legs.
But one of the soldiers with the spear pierced his side.
Pierced his side, and what came out of it?
Blood and water.
Signs of the covenant.
He that saw bear record, and his record is true.
That's right.
And he know that he say is true.
That he know what he say true. Praise God.
For these things were done that the scripture should be fulfilled.
That it should be what?
Fulfilled.
That's right.
A bone of him shall not be broken.
Mm-hmm.
And again, another scripture.
So
says,
look at this important state, right? Yahushua gets pierced in his side the same way that Adam did. But we read John 2 because Yahushua literally just said he was the temple, and rib is representative of a cell or the side of a temple structure. So if it's a cell or the side of a temple structure, guess what that means? That's a door. So when you look at, remember, what did we see with Mashiach when he resurrected from the dead? Where did he tell Thomas to put his hands at? In his side, and be what? Faithless. Don't be faithless, but believing. That's what he told him. Exactly. Eve was representative of the door. You know what I'm talking about? Or the ability for the woman to enter in to the house, to dwell with one in the house. That's what he just said. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Because what does Eve's name mean? And all those who were born of the Ruach emanate from who? Yahusha. That's why he didn't close up the womb. This ain't got nothing to do with no evolution. Had nothing to do with no evolution. The woman came out of the man, because what did we read earlier? The woman came out of the man because he said male and female created he them and called their name what? Adam. So he that is born of Elohim come from Elohim to dwell in Elohim. That's why he say they're joined to their wife and they'll be one what? He that is joined to the Lord is one what? Ruach. It's the one, it's the same thing all over again. That's what I meant earlier when we were talking about how reckless we are in a society that promotes sexual liberation, because men and women are not seeking to be one and be joined to death. You like, okay, I don't want to be with him no more. And there's another dude who'll come and be with me and take care of my kids. This is the attitude of a lot of women. It's a lot of dudes, I don't want to be with her no more. Then he go get with another woman, and now he done dropped the seed in her, and now it's children who have to suffer because of this. You know what I'm saying? And it's not necessarily suffering like they going, you know what I'm talking about? It's the fact of they're in a disjointed family. You know what I'm saying? We were never intended to be in disjointed families and then be like, well, you should just marry a single mother. It's bigger than that. It's not about that you're a horrible person. This is causing disjointed families through the lustful and selfish impulses of men and women, not considering that children are going to be the byproduct of this. And this is not the will of Yahuwah for us to live like this. That's not his will. Like I said from the jump street. Ideally, a man gets with a woman, they love one another. And through that love, children are the fruit of said love. You know what I'm talking about? This, like I said, told the brothers and sisters in the lounge earlier, right? Let's look at it this way, right? A man possesses a valuable thing. A woman possesses a valuable thing. The most valuable thing a man possesses is his seed. That's the most valuable thing that you possess as a man. Where you place your seed is the most important decision that you'll ever make in your life. As we talked about last week, where you place your seed is the person who needs to nurture and care for your legacy. She needs to be invested in that. How she treats your children is how she feel about you. You understand? So when you see people and they say they minister in the word and they feed people the word, how they feel about Yahuwah is how they treat you. You know what I'm talking about? As simple as that. Because those are his children. And it's his duty and job to watch over and nurture them children. You understand what I'm telling you? So now, what's the most valuable thing that a woman possesses? Her womb. And when I say her womb, not for sexual purposes, but for bringing forth the fruit of the womb. And as I told them earlier, as I told y'all for years, and because we live in a society where the medical advancements are so great, that none of us really know any women who've died in childbirth. But y'all know those who've been through childbirth, that every time you go through childbirth, you are risking your life. So you would need to make sure that if you're going to risk your life to replicate someone's DNA, that he would be a man worthy of you taking that risk. Because like I said, in antiquity, every woman, we know that Rachel died giving birth to Benjamin. She died giving birth to the son of my right hand. She died giving birth to him. But like I said, how many of y'all know a woman who died during childbirth? We know it happens, but nobody knows anyone who that's happened to personally. You may hear stories on the news, but you don't know anybody who, because we're so accustomed that, oh, such and such give birth, delivery due date today, and you accustomed that, oh, she'll give birth and she'll be fine. But till you've asked, even if you've given birth and you know that it's a risk, you still got to, oh yeah, she'll be good. We don't think that this can happen, but in reality, every time she gives birth, she's putting her life on the line. And you would need to make sure that you're replicating the DNA of a man that you genuinely love. You know what I'm talking about? For you to take that risk. You just can't give that away to anybody. But see, women give that away to anybody in this particular society. You know what I'm talking about? And then expecting another man to come in and be cool with that. You bonded with, you risked your life for this nigga. And I'm only mentioning that because for you to understand the male point of view. Because most dudes, the issue is that they're getting shamed for that point of view. Because like I said, I wouldn't knock a woman if she met a dude. I like him and all, but he got 6 kids from 6 different women. But guess what? Women get down, but the difference is nobody would shame you for not wanting to do that. You know why? Because nobody's gonna look at you different. But guess what? I can look at it from your perspective. That's 6 different women that you may have to deal with. And whatever their interactions are with that man, competitive creatures. So then you're back in your mind, is he having sex with his hoe? Is they talk about it? Is they talking about the kids? Is they talking about something? See, you don't want to deal with that. I wouldn't tell no woman to go deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, it could be 2 kids from 2 different women. I wouldn't tell her to go, but somebody will tell a man to go deal with a woman who got 2 kids from 2 different men, and be like, oh, that's not a problem. Shit's a package deal. It ain't no package deal, nigga. I didn't pay for a churn. Man, I would literally tell you, man, like sister asked this here, right? And this is an unreasonable example because I told her I know a lady. Last I seen her, she had 7, but I've been told she had 2 more since then. 9 kids from 9 different men. So then the question was, if that sister repented, who got the 9 kids from 9 different men, but you got an unrepentant woman who has no kids or 1 kid, which one would you choose? Neither. Neither. I'm going to be alone. But it's not because she's a horrible woman. This nigga got 9 children. I wouldn't care if it was 9 children from 1 man. Do you know the financial strain that is? And they're not even mine. Look here. Now, I know Dwight can relate because he's too short of that. Do you understand how it is to go from 1 child, 2 child, 3? You know what I'm saying? How you know your finances have to increase as you add the children. But at least it's gradual over time. You just talking about no kids to 9. Man, shoot. That's a lot of children. And then they're going to be of all manner of ages. So then you don't even know how you're going to interact with it. See, you know what the folly that most people think of, that you just going to come to these kids' life and they just going to love you because they mama want. They looking at you like, man, what that goofy nigga right here? And then you know what some brother come in at? They want to come in and they want to gorilla pimp and try to lay down the law on a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old. They've been living their life without you. And you coming in here like, nigga, you king ding-a-ling. Man, them children ain't going for that, man. See, we don't look at all that. And then, like I say, man, children get molested. Man, look at, man, you know how many women done came in and messed with a dude. See, this stuff that people want to talk about, that mess with a dude who had kids, man, and treat that man kids like they yesterday's trash. Where you think the evil stepmother thing come from? You don't think that's a real thing? That's a real thing. But we don't care. We don't think about none of that. Because if not trying to isolate men or women, I'm isolating that men and women don't give a damn about these children. And they acting like they care about these children when they really don't. They're really looking to fulfill lust under the guise that they care about these children. And you don't care about these children, and your choices and decisions expose that you don't really care about them kids. Because if you did, you would make better decisions before the kids were even made. You know what I'm saying? But see, this is the tough part that go back to the free will and the programming. But if your people didn't program you correctly and you have a level of freedom, you're not going to know how to be responsible with that freedom because they didn't give you the proper programming. And then you make the bad decisions and your children suffer because of it. Going back to my key point, meaning our parents have failed us. You know what I'm saying? See, it's different. I had told mine this here, right? Some of y'all, I know, we know Nisha like to listen to BG like she a gangster. She thinks she a gangster, pulling up like this here. Hard times, got to she like this here in all black. She like to see like she's putting on a mask. Ain't finna rob nobody. Walk around here, I got my shiesty in the bag. You know what I'm talking about? But he had a line, he said it ain't sin fault that I turned this way. It's my fault. He said she taught me right from wrong every day. You know what I'm saying? So he's saying, I got proper programming. That's what he's saying. I can't put that on her. That's me. Because when I had the chance to make the decision, I didn't handle the freedom of responsibility properly. And as grown black folks, where I praise you indeed, Shannon, we don't want to say that. It's always somebody else's fault. This be I was young and dumb. No, you wasn't. You were just dumb on purpose. Because when you're dumb, that means you know what you're doing. See, it'd be different if you say I was young and ignorant. That means you didn't really know what you were doing. When you said you were dumb, you knew what you were doing. I mean, it can be. I mean, for a man, if the biological father is deceased or like completely out the picture, you know what I'm saying? Because as a matter of fact, my homegirl who posted that, she was like, yeah, because I want a good righteous man to be a prime example for my daughter, but her father's a full-time father. Then she don't need that then. That means you just want a husband. Because if your child's father is a full-time father, do you understand that him and that man are probably going to butt heads? Because your daughter don't need a role model if her daddy is intimately involved. So then that would beg the question, why you ain't with her daddy? Now, I know why she ain't with her daddy, but I'm not going to talk about it. No, because this is the common conversation that we had, that like all these kids' daddies ain't involved. Yes, it's a lot of single mother households, but a lot of these children, their fathers are in their lives. You know what I'm saying? See, what black people like to do is we like to talk about the extreme minority of deadbeats and not actually acknowledge that, yes, there's a lot of single parent households, but the mass majority of these fathers are involved with their children. You know what I'm saying? It's not like these niggas is not doing nothing. A lot of these dudes see their kids, get their kids, instruct their kids, do things with their kids, take care of their kids. That's not the real. Because guess what, right? We know it's dudes that don't take care of their kids, but most of the women who we know who have kids and are not married, that's not their reality. They daddy's messing with their churn. But when they get on the internet or whatever the case may be, they want to act like this nigga ain't doing nothing. And then the people who know him be like, why you always on here lying, ho? Because it's really a chick over here whose child daddy ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm talking about? But you mad and upset because he don't do what you want him to do when you want him to do it. So you call him a deadbeat. You call him this and you call him that. You know what I'm talking about? That's a whole other thing. That's just immaturity. You know what I'm talking about? Brother Lane would say, yes, a bunch of brothers in their children's lives, they just not committed to the mother. And see, that's the problem, is that we're producing children and we're not committed to each other. Like I said, I lived my whole entire adult life like this. I did not make a woman a mother if I wasn't gonna make her my wife. Why would I make a woman? Why would I put a woman in the? Because at the end of the day, making a woman the mother of your child is akin to making her your wife. You just placed her in the highest position that she can have in your life. She's the mother of your seed. That's not no light thing. You know how light we take having kids now? What's that old stinking hoe that be hanging with? Go ahead, bro.
I just want to say, man, like, I don't know you.
Yes, sir.
You know, and I really appreciate you just being honest. You know, your intensity is not the same as mine, but I know you're not perfect, but man, I can really hear like a voice of a father to you. You understand what I'm saying? I'm 27, and it's just like a lot of things I've been struggling with is because I haven't had that tenacity to just call things as they are. Especially when you said something about you know people by their fruits. It's like I really am struggling. I guess you would say to confront it. I'm going to confront the situation,
Right.
and it's when it actually happens. It's like I'm lacking the courage to do it because oh, I don't want to step on her toes, or I don't want to make a scene. Right. It's like, I want to do it, and I will do it, but I just want to say, man, real quick, I'm not going to take up time.
You good, bro? You good? You straight.
Really appreciate, your development as a father, man. You really helping me a lot, and I just needed to hear this. Like, it's really changed my life. And I'm just really going to be praying for you, man, and just ask the Most High God, man, continue to protect you, man, and continue to cultivate your voice, because it's very powerful.
Praise Yahuwah, man. I appreciate that, bro. Praise Yahuwah. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like I said, we were talking earlier, man. Like, I just care about the churn, bro. I don't really care about these big, grown, rusty niggas out here, man, trying to do what it is that they want to do. I care about the churn, man. You know why I care about the churn? Because I was a child. It's really just that simple. All of us in here were kids, right? All of us know what we experienced or which we desired to experience in our childhood, whatever the case may be. But I was a child, man. You know what I'm saying? And thankfully, my people love me, man. You understand? I ain't see no negativity or some real crowd crazy stuff as a child. You know what I'm saying? And you just want to give the children the opportunity to be functional, man. You know what I'm saying? And healthy, and know that they people love them. You know what I'm talking about? So that they can actually be able to love themselves and love another person. So when they have their own kids, they can love their kids. And so that we ain't got to be around here talking about, I got trauma. I need to heal from childhood trauma and all this type of stuff, man. That shouldn't be our reality. Now, some of these people who talk about they got childhood trauma, they just didn't get to have their ways and they called it traumatic. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no trauma with you because you ain't get to do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't get to talk back. You're rebellious, ungrateful nigga, you. You know what I'm talking about? But some people did deal with trauma, man. And it shouldn't be like that. Because at the end of the day, none of us asked to be here. We here because somebody got hot in the drawers. That's why we here. You know what I'm talking about? Because somebody was feeling froggy one night. And here we go. So if you know that this is what's going to happen and this is going to get produced, man, do it. Make sure the churn's straight, man. Hold on, man. Jay said, that's the one thing I told myself I'd never do to my kids. I came from a broken home, and I'll be damned if I brought my kids into one. Praise Yahuwah for blessing me with an amazing husband. Shoot, praise Yahuwah indeed. Praise Yahuwah indeed. Hold on, Brother Langford said, yeah, the children get misconstrued vision of God when we make these sinful actions. You know what I'm saying? And he said, I had it pretty good, honestly. Yahuwah covered me. Praise Yahuwah indeed. Let's like this here, right? Like real talk, right? Then a lot of us, right, we be saying we in the word. Like most of us, you grew up with people, they say they were Christians and all this type of stuff, and then they done birthed each churn and you deal with all this stuff. Why you think these young people don't want to serve God? Why you think they don't want to deal with the book? They've been living in the house watching you. Man, let you. But did y'all catch that with the side? Man, let you be esteemed, man. I'm gonna go and cut this stream off. But those of y'all that's on Clubhouse, man, if you got something to say, man, you can go and raise your hand and let your voice be heard. Okay, hold on. So I'm gonna, because the stream at 2 hours and 45 minutes, you know, I don't like to let it run that long. But I bless all y'all out the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua, man. Love y'all. Yahuwah willing, man. We're gonna try to pop off at 2:30, but if not 3 o'clock, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, man, y'all willing, man. We'll be back on tomorrow, man. You know what I'm saying? To do it again. So praise you indeed, man. But those of y'all on Clubhouse, man, if you got something you want to say or add, man, questions you want to add, man, you can raise your hand. You know, y'all get that little bonus versus what YouTube gets.